Bulls in the NBA draft lottery. They had about a 77% chance to get the 6th or 7th pick and wound up with the 7th pick in next month's NBA draft. So, Bulls fans, who are you ready for? Wendell Carter or Trae Young? The news service of LifeLock. In today's connected world, it takes just one weak link and your personal information can get into the wrong hands. Good thing new LifeLock with Norton now has protection for your identity and devices. Join at lifelock.com. Use promo code RISK for an extra 10% off in your first year. 5:07, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Protecting data across modern decentralized networks presents challenges that traditional backup solutions can't handle. At best, you'll waste time and money managing multiple solutions. At worst, gaps in coverage will leave your data vulnerable. Barracuda Backup is a single cloud-integrated solution that simplifies the backup process and allows data replication to anywhere on your network, a private cloud, Barracuda's cloud, or to the AWS public cloud. Reclaim your data. Try Barracuda Backup free at barracuda.com/backup.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app and download today.
Have a young golf enthusiast? Keep them busy this summer with the 2018 Rabito Golf Academy Junior Golf Program at Bolingbrook Golf Club. It's a great chance for youngsters to learn golf fundamentals and get warmed up for the golf season by the professional teaching staff at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There are special programs divided into age groups, and sessions are still available but going fast. Get more info at bolingbrookgolfclub.com and click on driving range, then junior golf.
5:09 and a check of the roads this morning in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. In Northbrook, Willow Road remains flooded between Patriot and Shermer. It's been closed yesterday afternoon. 53 southbound at Dundee. Ramps have reopened after they've been closed for overnight work. Inbound Eisenhower ramp to the outbound Ryan has reopened, but the outbound Eisenhower ramp to the outbound Ryan is now closed until August 15th. So is the exit from the outbound Ryan to Taylor and Roosevelt. That's also closed till mid-August. Northbound Tri-State at the Stevenson ramp just reopened there. Kennedy inbound Nagel crashed in the left lane. There's a little congestion in that area. Inbound Ryan, it's heavy from the Stevenson to the Circle with overnight work in the two left lanes. It's 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic, service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees, while students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answers starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Chris Morelli.
Today, partly sunny skies, high 79. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 56. Thursday, a blend of sun and clouds. Expect a high of 79. Thursday night, mostly clear skies, low 56. Friday, mostly sunny, high 78. I'm Chris Morelli on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 48 at O'Hare, 50 along the lakefront, 49 this morning in Aurora. And your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and
we'll get to that topic later.
Geopolitical matters first. North Korea, you know, it was never going to be a straight line with Kim Jong-un, of course. His idea was going to be a denuclearization of North Korea, hand Trump the Nobel Prize if he's willing to accept it and move on to the next thing. Never going to be quite that simple, and so it's not. The North Korean dictator sending signals that he's open to the possibility of canceling the proposed June meeting in Singapore with President Trump because of a planned joint military exercise with the U.S. and South Korea, as well as any notion that unilateral nuclear disarmament or nuclear abandonment is a better term, more accurate term, nuclear abandonment by North Korea is going to be part of the negotiations. Well, that's a non-starter, and he won't even show up.
Yeah, and also, too, they're not too fond of John Bolton, who was on over the weekend comparing what they're going to do to North Korea to what they did in Libya. And Muammar Gaddafi, he didn't end up well because they gave him some time to, dismantle or stop with any nuclear programs, and he ended up dead. So they're not too happy about that. But the way that they canceled the meeting yesterday with South Koreans, they just sent them a fax saying, we're not going to have any meeting today.
Which shows you how much North Korea is behind the times with South Korea. They sent him a fax.
Yes.
Smoke
signals were really working.
This is right. They've got the one light bulb in Pyongyang. They got the one outlet that runs the fax machine. And that's about it. So, these sanctions on the North Korean regime, combined with their own totalitarian policies, have literally left them in the dark. The question is whether Kim Jong-un will want to walk to the light. And so this is, I suspect, a bit of gamesmanship. But you can expect more of this in advance of any summit meeting in Singapore and perhaps in lieu of any summit meeting if Kim Jong-un is doing more than saber-rattling, which is his wont. I mean, the saber-rattling part.
But do you think that really this is just a hiccup, or should people stop chanting, no bell, no bell? Because State Department says everything's still on.
We will continue to go ahead and plan the meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un.
Well,
and that's the State Department spokesperson. Yeah, it's for June 12th. So
I don't know if there's you need to tamp down the Nobel exuberance. I'm not hearing a lot of that. We're a long way from there. And, of course, the experts in the space that we've spoken with before, the history we've discussed before with North Korea, you don't take this regime at its word. This is not going to be, we have a meeting, therefore it's necessarily going to be the case that it's going to be the outcome we want, and North Korea is going to join the community of nations and behave more like South Korea so they can get on a path to South Korean-style modernization. It's all going to go so swimmingly and easily. Never. Of course not. You're talking about a totalitarian regime. You're talking about they released the 3 prisoners?
Yeah, we've had such a great, rapid improvement in the last few months, and then this.
Yeah, they got 100,000 to go. Prisoners. This is a totalitarian state. This is a tin pot dictator. These are ghouls, thugs. So let's, take the rose-colored glasses off a bit here and remember who we're dealing with. I thought when Trump did welcome those hostages back and made the reference to Otto Warmbier, that was his indication that he understands who he's dealing with.
Yeah,
the regime that murdered Otto Warmbier. So let's not forget that.
Right. And Kim Kwai Kwan, Thank you. I've been working all night on that. North Korea's first vice minister of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs came out saying, if we, Donald Trump, try to push us into a corner and force only unilateral nuclear abandonment, we will no longer be interested in that kind of talks and have to reconsider the upcoming summit.
Yeah. Well, so there's that. The war of words will continue, I'm sure, right up until that sit down in Singapore. In other news, we still have the political fallout from the violence in Gaza on the occasion of the opening of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. And, you've got all of the usual suspects weighing in with their usual observations. The D.C. press corps taking a decidedly anti-Israel and in some cases anti-Semitic path in terms of suggesting that the Israelis and the Israeli army overreacted, that they have blood on their hands, that President Trump has blood on his hands for making the decision that other presidents have only supported in rhetoric, which is to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and establish the U.S. Embassy there. Blood on his hands. Well, Benjamin Netanyahu, Israeli Prime Minister, sat down with CBS News for an interview about those 58 dead in Gaza.
They're pushing civilians, women, children into the line of fire with the view of getting casualties. We try to minimize casualties. They're trying to incur casualties in order to put pressure on Israel, which is horrible.
You said they want kids to die.
Yes.
Putting kids in the line of fire.
Yes.
Did your army go too far?
I don't know of any army that would do anything differently if you had to protect your border against people who say, we're going to destroy you and we're going to flood into your country. You try other means. You try all sorts of means. You try non-lethal means, and they don't work, so you're left with bad choices. It's a bad deal. You try and you go for below the knee, and sometimes it doesn't work. And unfortunately, these things are avoidable. If Hamas had not pushed them there, then nothing would happen. Hamas holds responsibility for doing this, and they're deliberately doing it.
Hamas is responsible, and not the Israeli army. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
I mean, do you really think Hamas is to blame for the deadly violence? I mean, 60 dead, 6 children. Nikki Haley and Ben Shapiro think so. I mean, the headlines were media do Hamas's dirty work, claim Israel is killing protesters. That's a lie. No, the fact is that the Israeli soldiers did kill 60 Palestinians. That is a fact. Did they have to do it? I wasn't on the front lines, but what they did yesterday was a vast comparison to what they did the day before. I watched a video. They shot. You could see the Israeli soldiers shooting people. Not rubber bullets, lethal force. But yesterday, they changed the way they did business. They determined not to repeat the bloodshed. They used an air campaign to drop these tear gases, 2 loads per drones flying nonstop. Richard Engel was there. He was in it.
Okay, turn around. These protests are not letting up. Among Palestinians, there is now no conviction that President Trump is an arbiter for the peace process. As far as they're concerned, the peace process is over.
As he dons his gas mask to protect himself. I mean, look, of course, if somebody's coming into your border and there's reports of 100,000 people coming, you have to do what you can to protect your border. But don't say it's Hamas's fault. Did Hamas encourage them to go there? Of course. Did Hamas? I'm sure it was a suicide mission for some of them. But they had their funerals yesterday. They marched the bodies through the streets, in Gaza, and it's heartbreaking. And Nikki Haley said what Israel did is what she defends what Israel did.
No country in this chamber would act with more restraint than Israel has.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA is our turnkey.pro text line.
So I'm sorry, what's your position?
My position is that don't have misleading headlines like Ben Shapiro had. Media does Hamas's dirty work, claim Israel's killing protesters. That's a lie. And in his article, he blames Hamas for the killings. Yes, they encourage people to. I'm just talking about the facts of who killed who. Hamas didn't sit there and shoot Palestinians. Hamas encouraged people to go to the border there, but the Israeli soldiers shot them.
Well, I hate to break it to you, your knowledge of the region. Hamas is a state sponsor of terror. This isn't a civic group that's encouraging people to show up to virtue signal and protest. In point of fact, 10 of the people that were killed at the border were members of Hamas's internal security apparatus. This is the state sponsor of terror. I mean, excuse me.
I'm not saying they didn't deserve it. I'm
done.
saying, is there another way that they could have handled this?
No, that is what you're saying. You're saying that Hamas is not responsible for the deaths. Hamas is responsible for the deaths. Ben Shapiro saying that calling the Hamas inspired agents at the border protesters is a lie. It is a lie. Ben Shapiro is right. In addition to that, you had those Hamas agents planting explosives at the border fence. And that's one of the reasons the Israeli security forces opened fire. I understand the left doesn't think we should protect our borders, and so they don't think anybody should protect their borders. But when you face an existential threat from a terrorist organization that doesn't believe that the Israeli state should exist, that does not believe the Israeli state has a right to exist, their position has been and continues to be elimination of the Israeli state. Be real clear about this.
I understand that.
Well, if you understand that, then you wouldn't be saying. I mean, the idea that the Israeli security forces responded to a terrorist incursion in the tens of thousands trying to get in, and if they did get in, they would kill Israelis and they would create mayhem in the streets. And their response, they're responsible? No, they're not responsible.
They brought sticks and rocks and a few IEDs. And Israeli soldiers had tanks. Well, there was reports of 2. No Israeli soldiers were injured or killed in the fight that happened.
So it would have been better had they been.
No, I don't want Israeli soldiers to die, and I respect the people of Israel. But I'm saying it is. I'm just talking facts. Who shot who? That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
and I know. And then the Israeli
that's a cheap
army
way to describe
dropped
it.
flyers yesterday saying "Stay away from the border."
Who shot who? Who shot who within context is what matters.
Well, if you're in Israel,
that's like saying
if you're a Palestinian right now.
Excuse
me. If you're in Israel right now, you think you feel good? Where's the 2-state solution? Jared Kushner's working on it.
I don't know what you're talking about now. You just jump from one non sequitur to the other because you don't know what you're talking about. Your argument is the same as saying when we liberated Nazi death camps and we killed Nazis. Hey, it was the Americans. The Nazis didn't do it. The Americans did because they shot Nazis. It's idiotic.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Supporting veterans is our passion. That's why we support Veteran Roasters, a Chicago coffee roaster that hires homeless and chronically unemployed veterans. If you'd like to help create jobs for homeless veterans, visit veteranroasters.com and purchase a 12-ounce bag of coffee roasted and ground by once homeless and unemployed veterans. The coffee's delicious and the profits are reinvested in hiring additional homeless veterans. Use promo code Team Hochberg to save 50% off the second bag you purchase. If you're a veteran securing a VA loan and would like to work with a local lender who supports veterans, call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Hey guys, Ken here from the Business Accelerator podcast, Today's Growth. If you had to choose a vehicle to take you up the rocky side of a mountain, would you choose a Ferrari or a Jeep? The Ferrari's faster, cooler, maybe even sexier, but if you have to get to the top, the Jeep's a better bet. I think we can agree getting to the top is not about the driver, it's the vehicle. Have you noticed people often pick their financial vehicle like they pick their cars? Washington Post shared that only 1 out of 4 people choose a job that uses their college degree. Why? Simple. Something more immediate, maybe cooler, maybe even sexier came along first. Shouldn't the main deciding factors for revenue generation be production or output? Should the cool factor have any weight in choosing someone's income? If getting to the top of the financial mountain is mission critical for you, why not add a few Jeeps to your garage? Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that makes it to the top every time? If so, you have to see the Jeeps lined up at IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 833-VANS-IND for a free inspection of your facility. That's 833-VANS-IND. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS Industrial.com. Vans Industrial, customizing for you, the customer.
Hey, we know replacing your roof is a big deal and a big decision. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson, the boys from Crumweedy. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. We would love to do your roof. Why choose Crumweedy to do your roof or roof repairs?
It's all about installation. Our guys are pros. When we install your roof, you'll get the Crumweedy promise of installation that's up to manufacturer specifications. So your warranty is intact. You'll be happy.
Cost. We give you a good, better, best option. You choose. No high pressure.
We're here. We're a third-generation family business that was built on the same conservative values as you.
We do business the right way. We have a special offer that includes free gutters with a new roof. Ask about it. When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy. 630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com. myroofisneedy.com.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. And it's about to get worse. The IRS just hired an army of new tax enforcers. So, if you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop that army of new enforcers from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $500 million of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-896-8155. 800-896-8155. 800-896-8155.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
AM 560.
The Answer.
Dan and Amy talking about violence in Gaza and who's responsible and the media coverage of it and whether or not we understand that Hamas has a history of using women and children as human shields and counting on the having a Coke and a smile left to advance their propaganda. Jim in Rogers Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, hi, good morning, you guys. I would like to suggest that Amy is vulnerable to vocabulary because the press says that the Israeli forces slaughtered 55 people instead of saying that the Israeli Defense Forces were forced to kill 55 people who were trying to charge the border. That makes it sound horrible. They're slaughtering people. So what I would like to ask Amy is, what would she think that they should do? If 10,000 people are running at the border with light weapons, which has been admitted they were carrying weapons, how would she have stopped them? Just rubber bullets? No live ammo, right?
No, I mean,
10,000 people.
The Israeli soldiers, they said in their defense, they tried dropping tear gas. They dropped leaflets warning people not to go to the border. This fight's been going on for a long time, centuries.
Well, no, not this particular fight.
But this particular fight's been going on for a few months.
The Israeli state's, 65 years old.
Right, but I'm saying this particular fight near this border area is been going on for a few months. But since there was talk of even moving the U.S. Embassy over to Jerusalem, there's been fights going on in conflicts. But they tried to de-escalate the bloodshed yesterday, and yesterday no one was killed, so that's good.
Thanks for the call, Jim. We'll take more of your calls after we check the headlines from Mike Scott.
47 degrees in Chicago, winds north at 8. North Korea threatening to pull out of the scheduled June 12th summit with the U.S. if Washington continues to insist the North give up its nuclear program, but it may be more related to ongoing war games and defense exercises between South Korean and U.S. troops. A woman is dead, 3 others hurt after an explosion at a Southern California medical office. It happened in the town of Aliso Viejo. The Orange County Sheriff's Department says it's too soon to see if the blast was intentional, but the FBI has joined that investigation. Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts will face a state lawmaker as he seeks a second term yesterday. Ricketts was a high-profile winner in yesterday's primaries, defeating challenger Crystal Gable. Ricketts will take on State Senator Bob Christ of Omaha in the November election.
I want to start off by thanking the people of Nebraska. It has been an honor and privilege to be your governor for the last 3.5 years. We absolutely have the greatest state and the greatest country the world has ever seen.
In Pennsylvania, Democrat Governor Tom Wolf will face off against Republican State Senator Scott Wagner.
Thank you for your support and confidence. And let's roll on to the general election in November.
In Idaho, the governor's race there will be between Republican Lieutenant Governor Brad Little and Democrat state lawmaker Paulette Jordan. Thousands of teachers expected to march in North Carolina today. They're trying to call for higher wages and education spending. People on Hawaii's Big Island are getting more and more worried about a possible eruption of the Kilauea volcano after more than 36 earthquakes shook the island. 3 are in custody here in Chicago, and it follows a police chase and fiery crash on the west side. The search continues to try and find a 3-month-old girl and her mother after they went missing from Chicago's Lawndale neighborhood. A Lombard woman is accused of sexually assaulting a student working as an intern at Glenbard East High School. She'll appear in court next month. Will County authorities continue investigating the cause of a deadly multi-vehicle crash along I-57 just south of Manhattan-Monee Road? And there's many of us who would just love to go see Hamilton. Former President George H.W. Bush had Hamilton come to him. The cast of the touring production of the Tony Award-winning musical went to the former president's Houston office for a special performance. Just for him. The president was reportedly delighted, tweeting about the experience. Of course, the 93-year-old is recovering after being recently hospitalized and losing his wife of 70 years. Cubs played 2 runs off Braves closer Arodys Vizcaíno in the top of the 9th, and they steal a 3-2 win in the first of 3 in Atlanta. White Sox tagged by the Pirates in a 7-0 loss. The news service of Comcast Business, small business internet providers will promise you a lot. Comcast Business offers fast gig speeds across their network. AT&T doesn't. They offer a more complete reliability with up to 8 hours of 4G wireless network backup. AT&T doesn't. Comcast Business gives you more. Comcast Business is built for business. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says, put up or shut up.
People who aren't suffering from Trump derangement syndrome are saying, show us the money. Show us the collusion. Because that was the whole basis for this investigation. The whole special counsel is based on that. It wasn't Paul Manafort's bank deals. All of that stuff is totally incidental and separate from the Russian collusion investigation.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Celebrate Dad, your grad, or those closest to you with the fresh flavors of Weekend Brazilian Brunch, now at Fogo de Chão in Chicago, Rosemont, and Naperville.
Visit CVS. Get a $10 cash card when you spend $30 on these great deals and more at your neighborhood CVS pharmacy. This week only, select Listerine products are BOGO 50% off. And treat yourself to Hershey's and Brookside pouches BOGO 50% off. Restrictions apply. See CVS.com/weekly ad for details. Visit CVS.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
536 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL, and time to check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound 8094, traffic is jammed. Torrance Avenue to Calumet Avenue. There's a crash there. 2 center lanes are blocked. In Northbrook, Willow remains closed due to flooding. Patriot and Shermer. Edens, Kennedy, looking good at this hour. In Belle Eisenhower, a little congestion around 25th. Otherwise, it's okay. On the outbound side of the Ike, the exit to the outbound ride is now closed till August 15th. On Stevenson, you got a 2-minute delay between Harlem and Kedzie. About Ryan, delays start around the Stevenson. It's 19 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound the exit to Roosevelt and Taylor now closed. Seeing mild delays on I-57 at Bishop Ford. Traffic service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans, one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, 0 fees. Plus, students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. It comes from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. A warmer day ahead. Sunshine. High near 80. Clear to partly cloudy and 54 overnight. Currently 48 at O'Hare. Next news at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. I've got some advice for all of us. Let's all just ignore the United Nations. We'll discuss when Freedom returns at 5.
Dan and Amy talking about the violence in Israel, and the media's reporting on it, and the left weighing in. John Brennan, for example, former CIA director. Deaths in Gaza, result of utter disregard of Messrs. Trump and Netanyahu for Palestinian rights and homeland. By moving embassy to Jerusalem, Trump played politics, destroyed U.S. peacemaker role. New generation of Israelis, Palestinians need to isolate extremists to find path to peace. Mark Meadows, Freedom Caucus congressman, responding, Director, what exactly is a sovereign nation supposed to do when their borders are attacked? Israel has the right to defend itself against a terrorist group committed to destroying them. The responsibility lies with Hamas for using human shields to advance their violent cause. Amy's in Brennan's camp. I'm in Meadows' camp. Whose camp are you in?
I just want to make sure that they exercised restraint, that they did the best that they could without using lethal force. And yesterday was a better day because nobody was murdered. Nobody was killed.
Well,
and again, I'm not a Hamas sympathizer.
Well, you're suggesting that they're not responsible for the deaths that did occur. So which is it? Israel or Hamas?
They didn't shoot them.
Right. So you're saying Hamas is not responsible. Candace in DuPage, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Gosh, I almost lose my train of thought when I listened to Amy this morning. Amy, they were offered the best deal they were ever going to get during the Clinton years, if I'm correct, Dan. And the reason why they said no is because ultimately they want to destroy Israel. They don't believe that they have a right to exist, period. Well, so what are these people supposed to do? I agree with Mark Meadows completely. And as Prager said yesterday, what do you think would have happened if they had gotten through the fence? Ask yourself that.
Yeah, it would have been. I mean, I'll answer that. Everybody knows.
Israelis would have been killed.
Israelis would have been killed. Hamas would have used whatever position they could inside the wall to further build tunnels and other means of exacting terrorism on Israelis, because that's what Hamas does. Is this news? It is to the D.C. press corps. Tim in Crown Point.
Yeah, Yeah, if you go to the footage from yesterday, or the day when all those killings happened, you could actually see they had guns, and they actually shot down one of the Israeli drones that was dropping the tear gas. And so it ain't like they're just throwing rocks. Some of those people were armed.
Thanks for the call. The larger question, if somebody wants to get into your home to kill you, do you open the door? Is entrance into, I mean, this is the same conversation we have with respect to border security in the United States. Is the basis for admittance solely the desire of the entrant, the prospective entrant? In other words, we admit people based on what they would like from us, not based on any sense of our nation's interests. And we should apply the same to Israel. That's the left's position. It's not our call. It's the prospective entrance call whether or not they should be allowed to come in. I mean, I don't know how you get around that ultimately being the premise from which the left and others who are rallying to the defense of Hamas have taken. Russ in Chicago.
Hey, good morning. Hey, Amy, my question is to you. Where is the outrage for the parents and the mothers and the fathers bringing their kids to the Israel border? They knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, no,
So
I believe for some, and I don't know that this is hypothetical on my part, but that it was a suicide mission, that they were going to take a stance and that they were going to, submit their lives to this greater cause that they believe in. So,
Okay,
yeah.
but if they're submitting to the greater cause, where are the parents saying they shouldn't be there? Where's the outrage on the left-wing media saying, why would somebody bring their kids there? But right away, it's Israel's fault. You know what? Good for Israel. That's what I say. Because that's what we should be doing to our borders, maybe. And we wouldn't have all the problems we have here.
Oh, yeah, let's
Thanks
shoot
for the
them
call,
down.
Russ.
Let's shoot down that poor Guatemalan family they're not armed.
Dan in Libertyville.
There seems to be some confusion on Amy's part in regards to, she said no one was murdered, and then she changed it to no one is killed. When you're defending yourself, you're not committing murder. When people, let's say we're at Amy's house and there's people outside and they're wanting to crash down the front door and they want to kill everybody in Amy's house. If somebody gets in that front door and someone gets killed as they come in the door as she defends her home, she's not committing murder. It's self-defense. And the Israelis have the right to defend their homeland against these terrorists, not protesters, terrorists called Hamas.
Thanks for the call, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
And John Brennan, I mean, an embarrassment of a former CIA director. He is on multiple levels. The idea that we should hold, our foreign policy should be held hostage to what terrorist organizations will do, that's essentially the position that John Brennan has taken. Right? That's the argument for Trump has blood on his hands. Okay. That's the left. Terrorist sympathizers. Gerhard in Southern California.
Dan, Amy, thanks for taking my call. Amy, you're delusional. How much restraint will you show when an angry mob is coming for your two sons with sticks and rocks?
Thanks for the call, Gerhard.
I'll bring out the tanks.
Steve and Joliet.
Yeah, good morning, Dan and Amy. Like everyone has an opinion and a whole tongue-in-cheek, Dan. Here I go. People who go to protests usually don't bring bombs and use people as weapons either. So that's my point. Thank you.
Thanks for the call, Steve. And let's remember this protest, or more accurately, attempted incursion. This isn't sui generis. This isn't the first time we've seen something like this in Gaza. This is standard operating procedure for Hamas. I'm sorry that the D.C. press corps doesn't pay attention or doesn't care to, but this is nothing new from that State Department designated terrorist organization. Okay.
And the leader of Hamas came yesterday to thank the crowd. It was very strange.
Why is it strange? They're agents of Hamas.
He was all smiles and
right, because people are the means
just won a war
to their religion, to their fascist ends. That's what terrorist organizations do.
I'm not a Hamas
Tom in Deer
sympathizer.
Park.
One point of view and an empathetic one with the use of human shields by the Hamas incursion fighters. John Podhoretz said yesterday, try to see it through the eyes of the 19-year-old Israeli soldier who has to get up for work in the morning, go to the front, and then know ahead of time that Hamas is going to be using women and babies as human shields. And then they have to make a decision, which they're trained to do, on what they will do. And that's, the deaths on the one side are tragic, especially babies, because it's the parents that put them there. And I have just as much empathy and sympathy for the Israeli soldier.
Thanks for the call, Tom. It's a good point. I mean, this is evil often leaves you with a lot of undesirable options, right? So the Israeli soldier who has to use deadly force against this incursion, as you said, kill a woman or a child that's being used as a human shield by a terrorist, or allow them in to do their evil work inside the wall against the people that this soldier is sworn to protect. Make your choice.
Yeah, and of the 60 killed, 6 were children. We don't know how many women yet.
Grant in Rockford.
Good morning, folks. Spirited discussion to get the blood going this morning. I'm not going to say much that hasn't already been said, but Hamas is 110% directly responsible for these deaths. Let's not forget Hamas is the one who has missile storage and launch sites within grade schools and hospitals. Amy, if your neighbor and their family is out professing and shouting on the front lawn to burn your house down every single day, and then one day they're on the front porch kicking the door in, I don't think you're going to care if the man or the wife or the child's in front. If they want you and your sons, you're going to defend yourself. So the last caller was exactly right. The Israeli soldiers are humans too. Think about them. I don't think they enjoy it. That's for darn sure. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks for the call, Grant. It's remarkable, isn't it? It's like we don't take Hamas seriously. At some point, we forget who these individuals are and what their end game is. And despite the fact that they state it, they're not serious. Remarkable. Ed in Oak Brook.
Hey, the point I want to make, the biggest group that doesn't want peace in the Middle East is the media, because they love all of this blood and violence. If they would just report the facts or just state what's really going on, you know what? Hamas wouldn't have this platform to put women and children in the front line. And Amy, you're so out of control. Go to WGN where you belong. Have a nice day.
Ed, Bruno in Naperville.
Hi, yeah, the Palestinians, they had an historic opportunity to have a two-state solution in their own state back in 95, 96, towards the end of the Clinton administration, when he brokered a deal between the two sides. And they turned it down flat because it involved admitting or acknowledging that Israel had a right to exist. So I don't have a whole lot of, sorry feelings for them. And in addition, the Palestinians like to make out, they call the areas that Israel occupied in the 67 war, the occupied territories. But before the 67 war, they were calling Israel proper the occupied territories.
There you go, Bruno. Good point. Thanks for the call. And what Trump has done with establishing the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem is validate 3,000 years. In addition to the 70 years of the Israeli state, 3,000 years of Jewish history.
But going on what Ed said, where is that two-state solution? I mean, if you're a Palestinian and you heard, it's coming, and who's in charge? Jared Kushner's in charge of it?
You think that the only thing standing between the two-state solution is a better envoy from this administration? Where's it coming from? It's not coming because Hamas and the PLO don't want a two-state solution. They're not going to sign on a two-state solution that, as Bruno just mentioned, recognizes Israel's right to exist. So that sort of takes the possibility of a deal off the table. I'm no particular fan of Jared Kushner, but he has nothing to do with this discussion.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
On AM 560, The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Dan Proft here with Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. And while interest rates have ticked up a bit, they're still at relatively historic lows. So maybe a good time to refinance, particularly you build up equity in the house and you want to see what you can do to fully leverage that. So, Ryan, thinking about refinancing as a possibility or something to explore, how should people consider that?
Great question, Damon. Thanks for letting me join you. Home values have been skyrocketing. It's everywhere. It's in the news feeds. It's out there. And you now have a ton of equity you didn't have just a year ago. And as you said, mortgage interest rates are still low. So what does that mean? It means you have options. You know, one of the biggest calls that we get here at the Home Loan Expert office is, I've got some credit cards. They piled up through the holidays or maybe with the kids in school and all that. And people are looking to do a cash-out refinance and pay off those credit cards. Cash-out refinance with the Home Loan Expert office is just as easy as a normal refinance, but we don't stop there. We get you the lower rate. We get you the cash you need to pay off those credit cards once and for all. Apply for a cash-out refinance today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert, LLC.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back, and it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me, and I recommend it to everybody.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, I'm Jim Vanham with Strategic Financial Group. With the new tax law, charitable gifting will be more complicated than ever before. We're your experts in charitable gifting, and we can help you stretch your donations to worthy causes like Giant Steps. Now, with more, here's my friend Dr. Sylvia Smith.
Thanks, Jim. Giant Steps takes pride in providing a holistic and innovative approach to programming for individuals with autism. As students turn 22, government support stops and the options for programs become limited. This is why our Canopy Adult Day program needs your support to continue our mission of preparing adults with autism for a fulfilled and productive life. To donate, visit mygiantsteps.org. Again, that's mygiantsteps.org.
Thank you, Dr. Smith, for creating such a nurturing environment for young adults with autism. To find out how to stretch your contributions, please go to stgfin.com. That's stgfin.com.
For years, you've heard of St. John's Northwestern Military Academy, serving young men with an outstanding education and preparation for life. Now that same experience is available for your daughter. With summer vacation right around the corner, now is a great time to register your son or daughter for summer camp at St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful region of southeast Wisconsin. It's a time to refocus from the distractions of life and explore the potentials in many areas of life. There's Camp St. John's Northwestern with 4 one-week sessions of outdoor activities for 10 to 16-year-olds, and summer school for 5 weeks to recover credits or get ahead for full credit. Limited registration for co-ed summer camp is happening now, as well as the year-round school application process. Hurry, space is limited. For more information, call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Protecting data across modern decentralized networks presents challenges that traditional backup solutions can't handle. At best, you'll waste time and money managing multiple solutions. At worst, gaps in coverage will leave your data vulnerable. Barracuda Backup is a single cloud-integrated solution that simplifies the backup process and allows data replication to anywhere on your network, a private cloud, Barracuda's cloud, or to the AWS public cloud. Reclaim your data. Try Barracuda Backup free at barracuda.com/backup.
5:57. Let's get our update on the early morning roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center this morning, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Reagan Tollway westbound past 25. Got a crash in the right lane. Veterans Memorial northbound. See delays Findlay to Butterfield. Overnight roadwork is late in clearing. 2 left lanes and right lane are affected. Eastbound 8094, it's jammed towards DeKalb Avenue. That's due to a crash. 2 center lanes are blocked. Eden's fine. Kennedy, 22 minutes either way between O'Hare and downtown. Eisenhower. Laser Wolf to East Avenue, 36 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson already 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 20 minutes, 95 to downtown. Bishop Ford, 26 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Traffic, service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. Great rates, 0 fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560. The Answer.
Jim, thank you. Chicago's Morning Answer continues with Dan and Amy after a full update from Fox News and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, here's meteorologist Chris Morelli.
Today, partly sunny skies. Look for a high of 79. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 56. Thursday, we'll have a blend of sun and clouds and a high of 79. Mostly clear Thursday night, low 56. I'm Chris Morelli on AM 560, The Answer.
Sunrise. Feels good to say that. 48 degrees at O'Hare. The news, a service of LifeLock. In today's connected world, it takes one weak link and your personal information can get into the wrong hands. Good thing new LifeLock with Norton now has protection for your identity and devices. Join LifeLock.com, promo code RISK for an extra 10% off your first year. 5:59 and a check of the stories we're following this morning on AM 560. The Answer. A Cook County judge sides with the Chicago Tribune in a dispute with Mayor Emanuel over emails. A veteran Chicago police officer admits to paying teenage girls for sex. The investigation continues into William Whitley. Mayor Emanuel calls a lawsuit filed to block construction of the planned Obama Presidential Center in Chicago a frivolous one. 2 more women have accused a West Suburban volleyball coach of sexual abuse, and they testified before state lawmakers to create more protections for victims. Cubs over the Braves. White Sox held to 7 hits in a loss to the Pirates. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
North Korea threatens to cancel the meeting with President Trump. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. This after also pulling the plug on planned talks today with South Korea, calling military exercises between the U.S. and the South a provocative ruckus. The North's vice foreign minister put out a statement they're no longer interested in a negotiation to drive us into a corner to give up our nukes. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Trump administration is moving forward with plans for the historic summit in Singapore until it hears otherwise from North Korea. State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert says the military exercises on the Korean Peninsula are nothing out of the ordinary.
They're certainly not provocative. These are things that we do all around the world with many of our partners and allies.
The threat to scrap the summit is seen as a move by Kim Jong-un to gain leverage and establish that he's coming to the table from a position of strength. Dave?
Rachel, Gina Haspel appears to have a clear path to becoming CIA director as more Democrats signal support before today's Senate Intelligence Committee vote, including the top Democrat on the committee.
Mark Warner announcing his yes vote after receiving written answers from Haspel about the post-9/11 interrogation program. In her response, Haspel said, with the benefit of hindsight, the enhanced interrogation program is not one the CIA should have undertaken. 4 other Senate Democrats have also announced support for Haspel.
Fox's Jared Halpern. There are a lot of trees down, hundreds of thousands out of power in the Northeast after a nasty storm rolled through, and there are reports of 5 people killed by falling trees, including an 11-year-old girl in Newburgh, New York.
Emergency crews cutting away tree limbs, trying to rescue a girl trapped inside that SUV. The tree snapped at its base as that violent thunderstorm moved in. The girl's mother outside the car in tears as the fire department worked.
That's Dan Bowens with Fox 5 TV. In the opioid crisis, where there have been thousands of drug overdose deaths, 6 more states are suing Purdue Pharma, accusing the prescription painkiller maker of deceptive practices. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
The clock is ticking. Every day you put off buying life insurance can cost you big time. The older you get, the more you'll have to pay. And a sudden accident or unexpected illness could cause your rates to skyrocket or even make you uninsurable. Beat the clock. Call SelectQuote now. No hassle, no obligation. In minutes, you'll have a choice of your best rates from up to 10 highly rated life insurance companies. Richard, 40 years old, takes meds to control his cholesterol. Still, SelectQuote got him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. Under $1 a day. Don't risk your family security another minute. Get your free quote now. Just call 800-694-1010. That's 800-694-1010. 800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Wow, what a difference. I feel like I live in a brand new home, and it's all thanks to CertaPro Painters. Hi, Amy Jacobson here, and while we were on our trip, I gave CertaPro Painters a key to my house. They came in, painted the living room, master bedroom, and it is impressive. Nothing like a fresh coat of paint to change the vibe of your house. CertaPro Painters are trustworthy. Obviously, I gave them a key to my house. They're professional, talented, and they clean up their mess. It's as if they were never there. And now that summer is coming, you're going to want to hire CertaPro Painters too. You know, family and friends will be over for outdoor entertainment, and you want your house to look its best. Get your porch painted or stained. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated. Once again, get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Saturdays at noon on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We've taken a couple of days off of the Mueller investigation, generally speaking, just because it didn't seem like it was so much sawing off sawdust for a time. But there are some developments across the board. One is a federal judge ruling yesterday that Paul Manafort will stand trial for money laundering, failing to register as a foreign agent for Ukraine. District Court Judge Amy Berman Jackson saying that those charges were squarely within the authority of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, the authority that he had granted Mueller last May. So those will proceed. Now, in a separate case against Manafort, the case where Judge T.S. Elias presides, who now famously last week talked about nobody should have unchecked power and was rather probing with the prosecution, Mueller's team. That's still pending. That's a case in Virginia on charges of bank fraud, tax evasion, failing to report foreign bank accounts. So some of the charges against Manafort go forward. Other charges still pending, Judge Elliott. And it's interesting because it turns out that Special Counsel Mueller may have a conflict of interest in the Manafort prosecution. This important piece in The Hill involves a 2009 operation when Mueller was FBI director and enlisted Russian oligarch Oleg Deripaska to spend millions of his own dollars funding an FBI-supervised operation to rescue a retired FBI agent, Robert Levinson, who was captured in Iran while working for the CIA in 2007. Deripaska, this Russian oligarch enlisted by Mueller's FBI, has surfaced in the investigation. He also, Deripaska, recently sanctioned by the Trump administration, one of those many oligarchs that surround Putin that were sanctioned by Trump. In fact, as The Hill reports, one of the agents who helped court Deripaska was Andy McCabe, the recently retired FBI director. Fired before he retired. The operation, despite a significant effort to rescue Levinson, and the reason that this Russian oligarch was enlisted is because his aluminum empire business had business in Iran. And also, arguably, the FBI wanted a foreigner to fund the operation because spending money in Iran on this rescue mission could violate U.S. sanctions and other laws. Levinson was never recovered. 11 years after he disappeared, he's not been seen. But
is he alive?
We have no idea. He was taken captive in Iran, and he's not been seen. The rescue mission didn't succeed, so we don't know. But the Manafort connection. Deripaska, the Russian oligarch, once hired Manafort as a political advisor and invested money with him in a business venture that went bad. Deripaska ultimately sued Manafort, alleging he stole money. Mueller's indictment of Manafort makes no mention of Deripaska, even though prosecutors reportedly have evidence that Manafort contemplated inviting Deripaska for a 2016 Trump campaign briefing. That never occurred. And there's no evidence that Deripaska, at least no public evidence, Deripaska had anything to do with the 2016 election. But there is this intersection. And it's not been disclosed. Here we go again. The FBI, DOJ, the Mueller investigative team, not disclosing relevant information to relevant parties. So, for example, questions that should be asked of Mueller by Rod Rosenstein, ostensibly, but maybe by the House Intel Committee if Rosenstein won't exercise his oversight responsibilities at Justice. As The Hill suggests, the FISA warrant. As the FBI prepared to get authority to surveil figures on Trump's campaign team, did it disclose to the FISA court that one of its past Russian sources waved them off the notion of Trump-Russia collusion? Second, the U.S. government in April imposed sanctions on Deripaska, one of several prominent Russians, using the same sort of allegations that state used from 2006 to 2009. Yet between those episodes, Deripaska seemed good enough for the FBI to ask him to fund this multi-million-dollar rescue mission and to seek his help on a sensitive political investigation and to allow him into the country 8 times. So disclosing and distinguishing the precise relationship and operation involving Deripaska with those who are, including Mueller himself, heading up this probe into Russian collusion. A lot of intersections here. And it continues. Congress now taking a new look at Fusion GPS founder Glenn Simpson's testimony before Congress, where Simpson said in an August 22 interview that he had learned of the dossier learned from the dossier author Christopher Steele that the FBI had corroborated parts of the dossier with information from a source within President Trump's campaign. He told the congressional panel that a human source from inside the Trump organization had provided information to the FBI that backed up some of the dossier. So here we revisit the issue of spying. You had the federal government intelligence agency spying on the Trump campaign, and whether or not there was any basis to do so legitimately. So this is something that Devin Nunes picked up yesterday when he was on Fox and Friends, House Intel Chairman, talking about this.
Chairman, why is it important to find out who was possibly on the inside of the Trump camp informing people on the outside?
Well, let's talk about how did this get started. So you had Fusion GPS that was hired by the Democratic Party and the Clinton campaign to draw up a dossier on the president, or as the president was running for president. What happened with that is that in his testimony, he mentioned that there was a source within the campaign.
Glenn Simpson, who runs Fusion GPS.
Glenn Simpson said that in public, what was closed testimony, then it became public. Now he's confirmed that he was telling Congress the truth, which is probably a good idea. We believe he was telling the truth. And what we're trying to do is get the documents to figure out, did they actually have, what methods were used to open this counterintelligence investigation.
Right. And then Simpson sort of retracted his statement, but then didn't retract it. Andy McCarthy writing over the weekend on the topic. Simpson himself does not appear ever to have clearly and personally retracted his statement about this human source inside the Trump campaign. In January, a few days after the reports of the retraction appeared, Charles Grassley, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, sent Simpson his counsel a letter asking whether Simpson was retracting, and if so, why he had not contacted the committee to correct the record in the 5 months since his interview. On the same day, Simpson's lawyer, Joshua Levy, sent a short reply to Grassley stating, in response to the letter, testimony from our client, Simpson, that Christopher Steele said he believed the FBI had another source within the Trump organization, is testimony that Mr. Simpson stands by. So if there was a retraction, the retraction was retracted. I mean, it's the twists and turns in this and the intersections of parties that, frankly, do more to impugn the integrity of the investigators than the investigated. Devin Nunes making the case that all of this, particularly now we're talking about a year later, suggests that there was no basis for this investigation at the outset.
I believe they never should have opened a counterintelligence investigation into a political party. Counterintelligence investigations are very rarely do they happen, and when they do happen, you have to be very careful because you're using the tools of our intelligence services and relationships with other countries in order to spy on a political campaign. Probably not a good idea.
Probably not a good idea. And Nunes and his cohort, Trey Gowdy, are going to be back at Justice Today.
Well, I think we had a productive meeting last week. And really the solution here is to get the Department of Justice to just come clean with everything, provide all the documents in a timely manner. So tomorrow we're going to go back, hopefully, to the Department of Justice. They have questions that we left for them to answer for us this week. And I think we'll have another productive session. And hopefully you begin to shine some light on this whole situation.
Hope springs eternal with respect to getting the truth from Justice, former Obama administration officials, Mueller. Holly and Hudson, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, good morning. Wow, we are off to a fabulous start this morning, guys. Thanks. I've been waiting for you to bring this up because I have a theory that I developed, and I think it holds water. Now, hear me out. Donna Brazile, right after the 2016 election, said, we were actually worried that we would win an electoral landslide, lose the popular vote, and that Trump, having said at the debate he would not concede the election, that we would have problems. She said that in weeks after the election. I think the insurance policy that Strzok and Page were talking about was a bribe to Trump after he was going to lose the election to accept the results and go away. What do you think?
Boy, I mean, it's an interesting theory. I don't know. There's obviously we don't have evidence to support that theory. I don't know. I don't know what to make of all this, frankly. You're just trying to go where the evidence leads for me, because trying to conjure up conspiracy theories do no justice to the actual facts as we learn them. The conspiracy theories are less fantastical than the facts as we're learning them on a daily basis, I find. But go ahead, Holly.
What I feel is how I think about this is that the FBI has dug such a hole for themselves and playing cover up that they had to invent this whole Russian collusion to try and cover their tracks for what they assumed was just going to be a simple bribe effort on behalf of the FBI of Trump to accept the results and go away. I think that question was a setup at that debate for that purpose.
I think there's something to the idea, and Kim Strassel had this a few months ago at Wall Street Journal, that we're looking at this all wrong, and that the covering your tracks piece of this, in terms of the machinery of government and the intelligence community working on behalf of the Clinton campaign in conjunction with other senior level Obama administration officials. That seems plausible. That seems like that might have some legs. The bribery component, that seems to be a stretch, at least at this point. But I reserve judgment on it. Thanks for the call, Holly.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Plenty of sunshine today. It's going to be warm, nice, a high of 80 degrees. We have 49 degrees right now at O'Hare. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, a low of 54. And for tomorrow, some sun, a high of 78. And on Friday, it's going to be great as well. And on Sunday, we could have hit a high in the mid-80s. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. How's our good friend Jim Telemonte doing?
Very well. Good morning, Amy. Thanks. Good morning, Dan. Northbrook got high water still closing Willow Road between Patriot Boulevard and Shermer. It's been flooded since yesterday. Eden's inbound is just a little heavy approaching the junction. Kennedy inbound with delays Cumberland to Montrose and Fullerton to Armitage. It's 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 23. Eisenhower heavy already, 54 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound, the exit to the outbound Rhine is now closed till mid-August. Stevenson is an hour and 10 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 36 minutes. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 24 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishopport 35. But Adams Tollway jam, the Tri-State to the Kennedy, and eastbound 8094. We got a big backup now. It's a crash at Calumet Avenue. All lanes are blocked. Traffic gets by in the shoulders. Delays start around the Bishop Ford Freeway. And westbound, it's heavy from Indianapolis Boulevard. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, homeowners, you say sometimes that your basement leaks only when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room getting wet, do you? Then why do you want to worry about your basement? Permaseal believes that your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. That's right. You can have a permanently dry basement. So give Permaseal a call at 800-421-SEAL. They offer a free estimate and transferable warranty, so you can rest assured you're getting the best value. You know, back in 1979, Roy Spencer started Permaseal, and it's still a local Chicagoland business whose purpose is to make the world a better place, one basement or crawl space at a time. Your basement is already dry some of the time, but if you want your basement dry all of the time, you know who to call. Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. BolingbrookGolfClub.com/contact/download our app. And download today.
Are you ready to take your golf game to the elite level? The Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training Program, or BEAT, is the highest level of training designed to maximize potential and develop highly skilled players. You'll learn from the Bolingbrook Golf Club's world-class instructors. They've designed practice schedules and content to maximize player development. For the athlete that aspires to compete and train at the highest levels, check out BEAT, Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training. More info at BolingbrookGolfClub.com.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, and it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. And the thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Tom Goleb, Chief Financial Officer of Navitas Systems, a leader in the next generation of advanced battery technology and a customer of Signature Bank. A few years ago, I heard Signature Bank on an AM 560 radio ad just as our previous commercial bank was being acquired. I knew Mick O'Rourke and Kevin Bastuga from a prior enterprise. I valued my relationship with them and the way they worked earned my trust and my business. So I decided to give Signature Bank a call. They took the time to understand our early stage technology company that has its own set of challenges. Signature Bank took care of us, and now we are satisfied customers.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
From one curious prosecution to the other, we had it here. We talked about it. Eric Greitens, the governor of Missouri, is facing an impeachment proceeding in the Missouri State House starting
that starts
Friday.
Tomorrow, or Friday.
Yeah. And you've got op-ed boards editorial boards, I should say, in Missouri that are calling for his impeachment, regardless of the outcome of this prosecution against him. We talked about this St. Louis prosecutor, Kim Gardner, and the flimsiness of the case against Greitens. There was a good write-up by a former prosecutor in thefederalist.com that laid it out, and it raised some legitimate and serious questions about the propriety and strength of the prosecution. Well, this week, Monday, prosecutors announced they've dropped the felony invasion of privacy charge against Greitens.
And a reporter that was in the courtroom said you could see the blood flowing back into the governor's face. And then all of a sudden, a relaxed look and a slight smile came across him. Because the problem, the point of contention is they don't have the picture. All of this centers around a picture he has with his former mistress that he confessed to. He spoke to his wife about it. They've prayed on it. They've gotten over it together as a married couple. But this picture allegedly was supposed to show her being tied up or bound and partially clothed. Well, nobody has the photo. And
also,
nobody can find the photo.
And the photo
ridiculous.
Is something Greitens was allegedly using to extort her to basically say, if you go public with this affair, then I'm going to distribute this photo, which doesn't appear to exist. And also, in one deposition, we mentioned this, the woman's testimony, the mistress's testimony.
Oh, this is the best part.
She saw a camera flash through her blindfold, she says, heard the distinctive click of an iPhone camera shutter, and then her Greitens threatened that the photo would appear everywhere if she told anyone what had transpired. But then she said in a deposition that she may have dreamt it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about dreaming the affair. The affair happened.
But dreaming that the picture was actually taken. They can't find any correspondence on his laptop or his cell phones or any text messages. And she is not being a cooperative witness. She said she was not going to take the witness stand. So that's another sticky wicket, too.
You also have the investigator for the prosecution, this guy William Tisby, who conducted the interview of the woman along with Gardner, later appearing to have lied to the defense about key aspects of how it transpired. Tisby said he took no notes during the interview, a claim that's contradicted by a video they do have of the conversation that was belatedly provided to defense attorneys. And he had to turn over 11 pages of notes that he had, that he said he didn't have. This is an investigator for the prosecution. That's a problem.
That's a hot mess. That is a hot mess right there.
Now, he's still got political problems and legal problems because he was also indicted for illegally using a list of donors to his nonprofit he started.
Yeah, for VAs because he's a former Navy SEAL.
Right.
Okay.
Using that list to politically fundraise.
So, okay, wow. Is that really against the law? So if you people that you know donate to one of your non-for-profits, don't you want them to donate to your political campaign?
Well, I mean, that's the curious thing about it. Now, this was referred by Republican Attorney General Josh Hawley, who's running for U.S. Senate. So, there's blood in the water, and when there is, you see who's a social climber and who is going where the facts lead. It's always a clarifying event, and Eric Greitens is learning that the hard way. But that's a very good question you asked because, so I start a nonprofit and I get all my friends to donate money to support veterans. Right. And then I run for governor and I say, hey, Joe, could you write a check for my gubernatorial campaign?
There's nothing wrong with that to me. That seems like normal behavior.
You would have to literally use the property of the C3 in such a way that it's obvious you're using its property for political purposes, and that could run afoul of the law. But right, if it's so, maybe there's actual hard evidence to suggest that Greitens did that. But otherwise, I mean, if it was just calling people you already know that you've raised money for a charity to raise money for a political campaign, no, it's not. So it's sort of flimsy.
Oh yeah, and charges were dropped against him during the third day of just jury selection, and Greitens has been defiant this whole time. Or Greitens, excuse me. And now we really know why. I mean, this does feel like a political witch hunt. But then the Republicans in his state that have turned on him, they're not really running to his side right now saying, you know what, let's rethink this.
They're
and
not.
That's what the problem is.
They're not.
Because come Friday, that's going to be – because he has said many times they've asked him nicely. They've asked him forcefully to step down as governor of Missouri, and he won't do it. But he was such an up-and-coming star, and there was talk of him being president one day, so – I don't know can he go to reputationdefender.com and get his reputation?
Yeah, Ray Donovan, a little bit here.
Hey, I got a case here. Do you want to help me?
It is fascinating, though. I mean, when people come at you, and the case is a curious one, the underlying bad act, which was a moral failure, was admitted to and dealt with by his family. I'm not saying it's not publicly relevant as a governor. I think it is. But when people come at you and then you see who's who, this is really interesting. And the other thing that's interesting is Greitens standing his ground and fighting this. If he is completely vindicated across the board, I'm talking about, including this fundraising charge, essentially, that's really going to be interesting. Because not only will there potentially be will he survive potentially an impeachment trial? Not only may there be a reckoning, the people that were first off the boat to try and score political points over somebody they thought was about to be kneecapped politically, so that he was no longer relevant politically, so I will feed off his political corpse to advance, my interest, to satiate my political ambition. That'll be really. This could actually be a very interesting sort of morality tale.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll talk to Todd Vandermeide, a former NRA lobbyist in Illinois, now the executive director of the Illinois Gun Dealers Trade Association, about the deal on guns bouncing around the Capitol. That's at 6:36.
And speaking of guns and the NRA, a potty-mouthed Democrat blast the NRA in a campaign ad. We'll let you hear it. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 47 degrees, 6:30 is our time, and power is out for thousands across the Northeast following a deadly storm system overnight. High winds and hail taking out power lines in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. 4 were killed, 2 in New York, including an 11-year-old girl. 2 others were struck by trees and killed in Connecticut. North Korea says they may scrub next month's planned summit with the U.S. if the Trump administration continues to insist on defensive drills with South Korea and that the North end its nuclear program completely. Democrats in the Senate today will try and stop the FCC's repeal of net neutrality rules, the FCC rolling back Obama-era regulations that keep Internet service providers, they say, from slowing or blocking content in favor of other content. Feds are investigating a deadly explosion. It occurred at a California medical office. Law enforcement sources say that yesterday's blast in Orange County, California, was intentional. However, Orange County sheriffs say it's too soon to say that's the case.
We're currently processing this scene. We do not know at this time whether this was an intentional detonation of a device or whether it was an accident.
One woman was killed, 3 severely hurt. It looks like Pennsylvania Congressman Lou Barletta will run against Senator Bob Casey in November. Barletta, the projected winner in the Republican Senate primary. Barletta was an early supporter of President Donald Trump. California's right to die law thrown out by a judge. Riverside County, California judge ruling it unconstitutional for the state to have passed a law on that issue during a special session in 2015. 3 are in custody following a police chase and a fiery crash on Chicago's west side. 3 in a Honda Civic ran away before the vehicle caught fire. They were later arrested. The search continues to try and find a 3-month-old girl who may be in danger, and her mother. They went missing from Chicago's Lawndale neighborhood this week. Former Wheaton College employees headed to prison after pleading guilty to child pornography charges. Benjamin Felker entered that plea yesterday in DuPage County Court. Cubs beat the Braves 3-2. White Sox tagged with a 7-0 loss to the Pirates. And the odds played out just about as expected for the Bulls in the NBA draft lottery. They had about a 77% chance to land the 6th or 7th pick, and guess what? They ended up with the 7th pick in the NBA draft, and that could either be Wendell Carter or perhaps even Trae Young in the upcoming draft. The news, a service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help your business work and keep your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time and at a low price every day so you can meet every deadline. Staples. 6:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says, put up or shut up.
People who aren't suffering from Trump derangement syndrome are saying, show us the money. Show us the collusion. Because that was the whole basis for this investigation. The whole special counsel is based on that. It wasn't Paul Manafort's bank deals. All of that stuff is totally incidental and separate from the Russian collusion investigation.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Great coffee, period.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. G.K. Chesterton observed that men do not differ much about what things they will call evils. They differ enormously about what evils they will call excusable. In D.C., what is excused depends on who is committing the evil. The standard of acceptable personal conduct is inversely proportional to one's partisan value. Ted Kennedy was indispensable, whereas Al Franken was expendable. 2 different eras, yes, but consider, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg drowned a woman, do you think the left would demand her resignation and give Trump another SCOTUS nomination? The use of political capital to quantify character lays bare the hypocrisy of ruling elites, but worse, it results in the steady degradation of the rule of law by raising our tolerance level for the excesses of said ruling class. 30 years ago, Gary Hart's POTUS ambitions were felled by an affair, and Douglas Ginsburg's Supreme Court nomination derailed by a history of marijuana usage. Both would be treated as veritable Quakers by today's standards. Senator X or Governor Y is to be exempted from the laws we must follow, much less any code of common decency we may conceive. He's too important to this or that movement. Excusing evils to advance political ends steadily supplants the rule of law with the rule of men, and the rule of men with no character at that.
It is 6:35. Let's get an update on the early morning roads. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. It's awfully hard to call it early morning with that sun out, Jim Telemonte.
It is, and the delays are not exactly early morning like either. It's a big jam on 8094 eastbound, the Bishop Ford Freeway to Calumet Avenue, where 4 lanes are blocked with a crash. Traffic gets by on both shoulders, but very slowly. Westbound, there's a gapers delay from Indianapolis Boulevard to Calumet Avenue. On the inbound side of the Eisenhower, it's already 55 minutes from 390 to downtown. The big jam is Wolf to Harlem, also having Independence to Circle. It's 40 minutes from Manheim, outbound 31 minutes out to 390. Eden's 27 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 21. Kennedy, 26 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 23. At the Stevenson, with delays starting at Weber Road, it is an hour and 10 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, 58 minutes from the Tri-State. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eastbound Adams, tollway heavy from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Northbound Tri-State now has significant delays. From the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Traffic Service of Napa. Need to change your wiper blades? This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, Bosch Icon wiper blades are $10 off when you buy a pair. Quality parts, helpful people. It's Napa know-how. While supplies last, offer expires 5/31/18. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Warmer, sunshine, high near 80 today, clear to partly cloudy, 54 overnight. Currently, we have 49 degrees at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The NRA still being used as a whipping boy by socialists of the Democrat Party, and redundant, and will in some campaigns come this fall, apparently, like in New Mexico.
Yeah, well, one congressional candidate in New Mexico did not mince words. Here's his campaign ad.
The NRA. Their pro-gun policies have resulted in dead children, dead mothers, and dead fathers. I'm Pat Davis, and I approve this message because if Congress won't change our gun laws, we're changing Congress.
But the problem was no one was minding the store at the ABC affiliate in Albuquerque, and that ran uncensored. So people are sitting home and they heard the actual F-bomb, so they're getting investigated for that. But he said it's not polite, but that's the way to reach the NRA. He's an Albuquerque city councilman, former police officer, who said he's seen too many dead children and something's got to stop. Now, the NRA slammed, they called it Desperate Davis in a response video. You got to see this. And he asked if he needed a bar of soap after hearing his foul message that was played over circus music. It's fun. It's on Twitter at NRA.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure the NRA has never been exposed to a potty mouth liberal before. That'll get them to fold up shop. For more on the topic of guns and as it pertains to the state of Illinois with a new compromise on gun control and gun licensing bouncing around the Capitol, and you know how dangerous that could be. We're pleased to be joined by Todd Vandermyde, former NRA lobbyist for Illinois, now the executive director of the Illinois Gun Dealers Trade Association. Todd, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hey, guys.
So Rauner does this mandatory veto on Monday that we discussed yesterday. Includes a range of things, including making gun purchases subject to a 72-hour waiting period across the board, which tripled the waiting period for long guns. And then a compromise, quote-unquote, bill comes forward yesterday, sponsored by socialist Don Harmon from Oak Park, that included the support, seemingly, of some Republicans, but not the support of your organization, the Gun Dealers Trade Association. Describe the difference of opinion on the substance.
Well, it seems that every time this dealer licensing bill gets killed, some of the Republicans treat it as if it's Jason in a Friday the 13th movie and give it CPR. So this, you've got a couple of Republicans who decided that they would join forces with Democrats, being led by Chris Nybo from Elmhurst, and decided that they were going to try and resurrect this thing again. It is not a bill to regulate gun dealers. It is a bill to put gun dealers out of business. They've got a licensing fee of up to $1,500, which is 5 times what the federal licenses for FFLs.
What else is in this that impacts the way gun dealers do business besides the licensing fee?
Well, they mandate that all dealers, any FFL in the state, create an electronic record-keeping system. We're not sure why they want that unless they want to create a registry of firearms. They sit there and mandate, they give the state police unlimited rulemaking authority when it comes to mandating security and storage plans. So, if you've ever been to a gun shop, Dan, you know that sometimes there's a lot of ammo out. They could sit there and say that everything's got to be behind lock and key, and you can't sit there and simply walk past the aisle and pull something off the shelf when it comes to ammo. They can sit there and say that at night every firearm has to be vaulted. All things that cost a lot of money and take a lot of time. They're just trying to pass something so that they can get their meat hooks in the door, so they can sit there and have state agencies come in and try to run gun dealers out of business.
Can you explain House Bill 1468, what it means when they say authorize restraining orders to disarm dangerous individuals?
Are you talking about the governor's mandatory veto?
Yes.
I think what they're talking about is something akin to the red flag laws that you've seen pop up around the nation, Amy.
And going back to this legislation put forward by Harman, and you said some Republicans like Chris Nivo from Elmhurst. We like to name names. Who else on the Republican side is going along with this bill to reduce the number of gun shops in Illinois?
Well, there were a couple of Republicans at the press conference. Senator Curran was there. Representative Olson was there. And we saw Representative Rooney there.
Mark Curran is, John Curran. Yeah, Mark Curran is the Lake County Sheriff.
Hey, leave him alone.
Yeah, he's staying out of this. John Curran, who's the state senator, Downers Grove, replaced Christine Radogno. David Olson is a state rep from Downers Grove, replaced Ron Sandak. And Tom Rooney is a state senator from Rolling Meadows. Republicans surrendering on this. And your discussions with any of those individuals and what their understanding of this legislation is, why would they support something that Don Harman is proposing on guns or much of anything else?
Haven't talked to any of them in the last 24 hours. Senator Nivo seemed to be ducking us prior to this, but we had heard that he was dealing behind the scenes on this issue for some time.
And where does this stand relative to the move? Well, I guess you have things that are happening concurrently. Where does the effort to potentially override Governor Rauner's mandatory veto stand?
That's still in the House. Our understanding is that Democratic staff was trying to do a roll call on their side of the aisle yesterday to figure out if they had the votes or not. It's going to take Republican votes to try to override the AV.
What are you getting? I mean, what are you hearing about other Republicans, how they're going to vote?
Which bill, Amy?
On the veto plan.
The override.
Override.
It's relatively new. It remains to be seen, but I think there are some Republicans who like the governor's plan better than what the original bill was. So it'll be a dogfight more than likely on the floor for the gun owners of the state.
With respect to the Harman bill, I also understand that House Minority Leader Durkin had put up a couple of other members in his caucus, Tom Bennett, Avery Bourne, C. Davidsmeyer from downstate, to work with Harman. You've been in Springfield for a long time. So can you give us some perspective on Republicans when it comes to even now gun issues? This used to be something where that would you'd see a unified party. It's like tax increases. We don't see a unified party on tax increases anymore. Almost a third of the House Republican caucus voted for the 32% income tax increase last year. Now we've got Republicans in the suburbs in particular, maybe downstate, I don't know, that seem to be getting soft on Second Amendment rights, even against the backdrop of these sanctuary resolutions starting in Effingham County being passed, sending a message to state government.
Well, Jim Durkin's actually been pretty good on our issue in trying to help us out this session in trying to combat frivolous bills like this dealer licensing bill. Avery Bourne and Tom Bennett have both been very helpful with us in trying to combat all these anti-gun bills. I know the governor had put together a task force and had asked for all 4 caucuses to try and participate, trying to find what was sensible in trying to do, but the Senate Democrats refused to participate. Obviously, they went their own way with whatever Herman's trying to propose now. But yeah, it is a little disheartening when you see, what should have been part of the base of the Republican Party turning around and seemingly throwing part of the base under the bus. We're going to keep working as we did. I spent 25 years as an NRA lobbyist fighting all this stuff. Haven't given up the ghost on this, but we're going to keep working on this. And as a trade association for the gun dealers of this state, we're going to stand alongside gun owners and fight all of this, as best we can.
So for gun owners who patronize the various gun shops, pick your favorite shop and get involved to save your favorite shop. Is that something you'd advocate?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unless you want Walmart and Dick's being the last FFLs in the state of Illinois being able to do this, patronize your local gun shop and start calling your state legislators, both your House and Senate guys, to sit there and say, hey, we don't want the state to have the ability to try and run gun dealers out of business. When this whole thing started in 1994, Mayor Daley didn't want a gun shop within, 100 miles of Chicago. That was his solution. He had his gun ban. He couldn't, he was presiding over the murder capital of the country, and his solution was to point at the lawful gun owners as being the problem. Here we are 2 Supreme Court decisions later, and, they don't seem to take those words in Heller to heart.
He is Todd Vandermeer, the executive director of the Illinois Gun Dealers Trade Association. Todd, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
There's a new report out. Chicago, most corrupt city in the United States of America. Illinois, the 3rd most corrupt state. Chicago has a new title. Wow. First, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine. You can see it. We're going to have a balmy high of 80 degrees. It is 52 degrees right now at O'Hare. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, a low of 54. And tomorrow, sunshine, a high of 78. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Any sunshine delays on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte with more.
We're one of the worst in the country with traffic, too, Amy, unfortunately, and it's getting heavier on your inbound Kennedy. It's now 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. So travel time has jumped quite a bit in the last few minutes. 22 minutes from Montrose to the Circle, 16 in the Express, outbound 36 minutes to the airport. Eden's 28 minutes, Lake Cook Junction, outbound 22. Eisenhower, jammed, Wolf to the Circle, an hour and 3 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 35 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 16 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, hour and 3 minutes from the Tri-State, outbound 42 minutes, 355. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57, Bishop Ford, both 30 minutes, side east to the merge. See a big jam on 8094 eastbound with a crash at Calumet Avenue. 4 lanes are blocked. Traffic's behind the shoulders. The delay starts on the southbound Tri-State at Chicago Road. Westbound it's slow. Indianapolis Boulevard at Calumet Avenue. Jim Talamonte and the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. CIA nominee Gina Haspel appears to have the votes to be confirmed as the next head of the CIA. Homebuilder optimism grows in May. Those stories and more next.
The backyard's looking great, Rob.
Thanks, man. I was planning on adding a deck, too. Know any good contractors?
Why don't you just ask Home Advisor?
Home what?
HomeAdvisor.com. You just tell them about your project, and they match you with local pros that can do the job.
Nice. Now, how much does it cost?
Home Advisor's totally free to use. Plus, you can read customer reviews, check pricing, and book appointments for free.
What's the website again?
HomeAdvisor.com. Or just download the free Home Advisor app.
Home Advisor.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
The top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee voting to confirm Gina Haspel to be the next CIA director. Senator Mark Warner's decision means that Haspel likely will be confirmed by the full Senate. Home builders are feeling more confident about their sales prospects because of strong demand for their new homes, and existing homes remain in short supply. The National Association of Home Builders Wells Fargo Builder Sentiment Index rose 2 points to 70 this month. That ended a 4-month slide. The Kellogg Company is closing operations in Venezuela because of the country's chaotic economy. Kellogg's factory in the city of Maracay produces 75% of the breakfast cereals consumed by Venezuelans. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern, on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Looking to refinance your existing mortgage and want the lowest rates and lowest closing costs? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Other lenders boast about having low closing costs, which is like me saying I look good in a pair of 32-inch pants. Truth is, other lenders' closing costs are substantially higher than Team Hochberg's closing costs, and I haven't fit into a pair of 32-inch pants in over 40 years. Compare Team Hochberg's closing costs against any other lenders, and if our closing costs aren't lower, I'll donate to Veterans Roasters, an organization who hires homeless veterans to roast coffee, and an organization Team Hochberg already financially supports. When securing a mortgage, you can either work with a lender whose definition of low closing costs are over $1,000 higher than ours, or you can call Team Hochberg now at 312-751-1333. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
We live in exciting times. The rapid evolution of technology in industrial robotic automation systems offers a multitude of solutions designed to give manufacturers a competitive advantage. From ergonomics, quality control, and the need to meet increased production goals while improving the lives of everybody on the factory floor, industrial robotic automation can mean increased profitability and higher quality jobs. Matrix Industrial Automation has built a reputation as an industry leader in developing, building, and installing a wide range of turnkey robotic automation systems. Manufacturers big and small, local and worldwide, depend on Matrix to deliver the most optimal and robust industrial automation systems with improved ROI in mind. Nearly 2 decades of experience and hundreds of installed systems is why Matrix Industrial Automation, headquartered in Bartlett, Illinois, are the industrial automation experts. For information or to schedule a free automation consultation, visit matrixindustrialautomation.com or call 847-841-8260. That's matrixindustrialautomation.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor, and he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking, and he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. And I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Okay, so the big question for any decision you're going to make, is this actually going to work? Well, if you've heard about MediShare, which is a brilliant way of sharing healthcare costs, you may have wondered that. Does it work? Well, so did Dr. Stuart Hoover, who initially joined to save a lot of money. The typical family saves about $500 a month. Stuart saved even more.
When we first joined Medi-Share, we were immediately going from a little over $1,600 a month down to $460 basically a month.
So that's wonderful, but then his wife needed emergency surgery, and the bills added up to $160,000.
So we were seeing the bills coming in, and then the bills were being paid. Portions were being shared, and the end result of this is this bill was taken care of.
Yes, Medi-Share works, and it's so easy to get your questions answered too, so why not? You can call right now, 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE, 844-41-BIBLE.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. At Permaseal, we believe your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. I hear story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room or bedroom getting wet when it rains, and you should feel the same way about your basement. Just call 800-421-SEAL. We offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all the time, you know who to call. 800-421-SEAL. Permaseal has earned an A+ rating from the BBB and has received their 2016 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Hi, it's Amy Jacobson, and you know I love resting my head each night on a MyPillow. It's the only way I get proper rest and deal with Dan every morning. For the rest of your body, get the MyPillow mattress topper. It keeps your entire body comfy, cozy, and relaxed. The MyPillow mattress topper is 3 unique layers of comfort that evenly supports your body weight and helps relieve pressure points, plus keeps your body temperature regulated all night long. No more too hot or too cold. You'll get the same 10-year warranty you get with the MyPillow, plus the 60-day money-back guarantee, and it's made in America. Best of all, with the promo code Amy, you'll get 30% off the MyPillow mattress topper, plus 2 free standard pillows. No kidding, 2 standard MyPillows for free. Go online or call now and don't miss out. Call 800-489-0201, promo code Amy, or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201, promo code Amy.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You're going to want to sit down for this breaking news about Chicago. And I read it, and you could have knocked me over with a feather.
I don't think it's anything you haven't heard before, but it's from the University of Chicago Political Science Department. And
Dick Simpson.
Basically, yeah, Dick Simpson. What we find is a very dreadful picture in nearly every sector. When you talk about aldermen, when you talk about Chicago schools, you talk about contracts. In every area, corruption is still rife in the city of Chicago. And they just point out certain politicians. Barbara Byrd Bennett, the former CEO of CPS, he called her the poster child for taking $2 million in bribes. I laugh so that I don't cry. And they also cited the convictions of U.S. House Speaker Denny Hastert, Congressman Aaron Schock, and Alderman
under indictment.
Willie Cochran. Yeah, Schock's under indictment on fraud and theft charges. So that case is pending. But, you know, it's, if you want to read the whole report, you can go online.
Yeah, I
and
sat down
read it.
I sat down with Dick Simpson last year for an Against the Current. You can get it upstream-ideas.com. Former alderman, been at UIC for a while now. I just wanted to report the good news. Congratulations, Chicago, most corrupt city in the United States. Way to go, Chicago Democrats. Don't ever change.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Juan Williams says President Trump is lying about Iran. Interesting. We'll talk to Juan at 7:07.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
The search continues for a missing infant and mother from Chicago. A new gun dealer bill introduced. Cubs rally to beat the Braves. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Will North Korea nuke the meeting?
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
President Trump is not going to be buffaloed by discussions like this.
Republican Senator John Barrasso, after North Korea threatened to cancel next month's meeting between the president and Kim Jong-un, saying it isn't wanting a one-sided negotiation to be cornered into giving up nuclear weapons. The North did cancel talks today with South Korea, upset over joint U.S. military exercises. Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, the military exercises on the Korean Peninsula are legal and planned well in advance, according to State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert. She says the June 12th summit in Singapore is still on.
We will continue to go ahead and plan the meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un.
Leader Kim has said North Korea would destroy its nuclear site ahead of the meeting. China's foreign ministry is urging North Korea to proceed with the summit, saying the two countries should ensure the meeting runs as planned and yields substantial outcomes. Dave.
Rachel, Guatemala has joined the U.S. opening its embassy in Jerusalem. The American dedication Monday sparked protests in Gaza that turned violent as Israeli troops opened fire to prevent border crossings, killing dozens of Palestinians. Thousands were injured. The FBI and ATF believe an explosion at a medical building in Southern California was intentional.
First reported as a car into a building, but we've learned there was no car involved, but rather a large explosion of some kind, killing one person and injuring 3 others.
Rick Lozano with Fox 11 TV and Aliso Viejo. It's believed it might have been a package bombing. Some communities in the Northeast are littered with trees taken down by a nasty storm. Some fell on homes, some on roads, some on cars. 5 people were reportedly killed, including an 11-year-old girl in Newburgh, New York. He's her neighbor.
It gave me the chill because I got nieces and nephews in it, and I can understand the emotion they're going through and things like that. I feel bad for them.
Another victim, a man who was out mowing the lawn and sought refuge in his truck when the storm hit in Connecticut. Hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses lost power from there to Maryland. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 49 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 3 are in custody following a police chase and a fiery crash on Chicago's west side. Authorities tell us officers began chasing a vehicle because it matched one used in an earlier shooting. That vehicle then slammed into an SUV in the 3700 block of West Jackson. 3 in the vehicle ran away before it caught fire. They were later arrested. Cook County judge is siding with the Tribune in a dispute with Mayor Emanuel over his emails. A judge ruling this week that the mayor and his office violated state law by withholding nearly 18 months' worth of emails related to city business that were sent and received on the mayor's personal accounts, most tied to the city's controversial red light camera system. Mayor himself is back in the middle of a brouhaha, a lawsuit filed to block construction of the planned Obama Presidential Center. Mayor called that a frivolous suit.
I think this is a frivolous lawsuit. It's based on some notion of the records. The records are going to be digitized. Welcome to the 21st century. They can be both in New York and in Chicago.
Protect Our Parks is suing over claims the center will not include a true presidential library. In Springfield, a bipartisan group of state lawmakers proposing a new version of gun dealer regulations, a bit of pre-election maneuvering swirling in Springfield, as AM 560's David Stewart reports.
The bill's intended to replace the one Governor Rauner vetoed and respond to his concerns. Senator Don Harmon says the revised plan drops a licensing requirement and now calls for gun dealers to be certified by the state. Dealers would have to make sure that inventory is secured, employees are trained, and stores have video surveillance.
We heard critics of the Gun Dealer Licensing Act that the General Assembly passed about too much bureaucracy and too much red tape. So we've come back with a dramatically simplified structure without compromising results.
The measure also places restrictions on private gun sales. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago sports. Cubs come on in the ninth inning, scored 2 to cap a 3-2 comeback victory in the first of 3 in Atlanta. Carl Edwards came away with the win. Brandon Morrow the save. White Sox held to 7 hits in a 7-0 loss to the Pirates. The news, a service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time at a low price every day so you can meet every deadline. Staples. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder explains what was wrong with the Iran deal.
It has nothing to do with the other thing that Iran is doing. The missiles, arming Syria, helping al-Qaeda.
founding Hezbollah, arming Hezbollah, financing terror, financing other terror groups, covert terror groups. They're the ones financing the bad guys in Yemen. And none of that was included in the deal. None of it.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan Proft here with a home loan expert. He is Ryan Kelly, homeloanexpert.com. A bit of a credit crunch since the recession on the self-employed, the owner-operator of a business. And Ryan, I wonder how you effort to cater to the entrepreneurial set.
You know, what a great question. And I'm a business owner, and there's a lot of us out there. It doesn't matter if you're one person or if you have 200 employees. As an independent contractor or a business owner, you like to write off every expense you can, and you should. You should write off your marketing, your part-time assistants, your staff. The problem in the past has been when you do take advantage of your tax write-offs and you bring your income down on your tax returns, lenders have been denying you for the mortgage, and that's just crazy. So we rolled out our new loan program. It's called the Bank Statement Mortgage. If you are an independent contractor, self-employed borrower, or own a business, I don't even need your tax returns anymore. In fact, I don't need pay stubs, W-2s, K-1s, or 1099s. I qualify you with your bank statements. Apply online for your bank statement mortgage today at thehomeloanexpert.com. Thanks, Dan. The Home Loan Expert, LLC.
The clock is ticking. Every day you put off buying life insurance can cost you big time. The older you get, the more you'll have to pay. And a sudden accident or unexpected illness could cause your rates to skyrocket or even make you uninsurable. Beat the clock. Call SelectQuote now. No hassle, no obligation. In minutes, you'll have a choice of your best rates from up to 10 highly rated life insurance companies. Richard, 40 years old, takes meds to control his cholesterol. Still, SelectQuote got him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. Under $1 a day. Don't risk your family security another minute. Get your free quote now. Just call 800-670-4040. That's 800-670-4040. 800-670-4040. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
7:07, a check of the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. 8094 eastbound at Calumet Avenue, a crash just cleared, but it's still a long delay from Halstead on the southbound Tri-State down to Calumet Avenue. And westbound at Stop and Go from Burr to Calumet. On the northbound Tri-State, traffic's heavy from 111th to 47th. The Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound Veterans Memorial heavy approaching the Reagan Tollway. Eden's 28 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 25. Kennedy, 45 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, 22 from Montrose, 16 of the Express. Outbound 36 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower's an hour and 16 minutes now, 390 to downtown, 57 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 35 minutes, 390. Stevenson, an hour 16, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42 minutes, minus 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with meteorologist Chris Morelli.
Today, partly sunny skies, high 79. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 56. Thursday, a blend of sun and clouds, expect a high of 79. Thursday night, mostly clear skies, low 56. Friday, mostly sunny, high 78. I'm Chris Morelli on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 49 at O'Hare. Next news at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy and David Brooks, New York Times columnist. No particular fan of President Trump. I had this to say last week on PBS. I watched it so you don't have to. About the withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal.
You know, one of the things you notice with the president is that he comes from a background where basically in the real estate business he worked with a lot of thugs. And he cultivated a lot of thugs, and he was a little thuggish himself. But in my view, that helps him, for all his drawbacks, understand thugs. And so in North Korea, he understood that being tough with a thug produces some results. And we're in a better situation with North Korea than we were otherwise. He's been much tougher on the Chinese in trade, and a lot of people think he's adopted the right policy because sometimes you got to just stand up to people. And in Iran, I have very mixed views about whether Trump did the right thing. But the President Obama, the argument he made for it, which was that Iran would moderate and become a more familiar member of the company of nations, that has turned out to be clearly false. They're the most genocidal nation on the face of the earth. They can export violence and terror around the earth. And so Trump standing up to them at least has some legitimacy. It's possible that he understands people like that better than people who have higher SAT scores.
Well, and that's why I was so surprised to read this piece in The Hill from our friend Juan Williams about Trump's allegedly dangerous lies on Iran, clinging to the Iranian nuclear deal the Obama administration inked. For more on this topic and to let him state his case, we're pleased to be joined by Juan Williams, Fox News contributor and columnist for the aforesaid Hill. Juan, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Good morning.
Good morning. So what does David Brooks have wrong about Iran?
Well, I think he's right about, in the New York commercial real estate business, Donald Trump had to learn how to deal with thugs. But I think the problem for me is that when he describes the deal, he says, oh, this is a terrible deal, and in fact said that Iran would shortly be able to have nuclear weapons. And, of course, the bottom line for the deal, unlike what David Brooks said, the bottom line for the deal was to prevent Iran from becoming a nuclear power and a greater threat to Israel and, a part of the nations that have nuclear power to exercise because we don't trust them. So we wanted to stop that. And in fact, the deal stopped that. The Washington Post said that Trump's claim that Iran would soon be on the brink of nuclear weapons because of a poor inspections regime was a total Pinocchio. They call it a whopper of a lie. And I was stunned. I mean, most Americans, I think it's 63% of Americans didn't want to pull out of the deal. But I was stunned, and I wrote about this in the Hill, Dan, that, 62% said, yeah, I think it is a bad deal. And so, I mean, it's just curious to me. They think that Iran violated the deal or was on the brink of obtaining the nuclear weapon, and it's just not true. But Trump is persuasive. He says, terrible deal, rotten to the core, all this stuff. Pretty soon it gets into the, kind of partisan politics where Republicans say, yeah, that was a Democratic deal, and Trump attacks Obama or John Kerry, the former Secretary of State, and everybody says, well, just another argument. But in this case, it's an argument that distorts our national security interest, and the goal, as I repeat now, was to prevent Iran from getting nuclear weapons, and it did that.
Yeah.
Well, what proof do you have?
Oh, I think we have lots of proof because we have not only the International Atomic Energy Group that was certifying that they were not in violation, but we had
who was doing that? Hans Blix?
We had our own United States Trump administration certify it, Amy. So what we know is that the deal, and the Europeans certified it, nobody said that Iran violated this deal.
Well, right. They didn't violate it. I mean, they haven't obtained nuclear weapons yet. I guess the position that Israel took, because, of course, Trump is not going it alone here since you're concerned about Iran's threat to Israel. You're obviously familiar with the position that Prime Minister Netanyahu took, that Israeli Ambassador Ron Demmer explained in terms of Iran's nuclear program when Bibi unveiled to the world this cache of information that Mossad was able to obtain from Iran. So you just kind of dismissed that as, well, they didn't have a nuclear weapon yet, despite all the evidence that their nuclear program was continuing, and they were lying to the international community. We're just supposed to wave that off because they haven't got the nuclear weapon yet.
There was no evidence. All that they introduced was well known, and it was really a publicity effort to try to build support for the idea that Donald Trump and the United States would withdraw from the Iran deal. No, there was nothing new there. There's no evidence of any violation. And I think the key here is to understand that there are people who believe that because Iran continues, to be involved in Syria, for example, maybe even with Hamas in Palestine,
Yemen,
that people think, we see them as a threat generally, and so we want to take them on. You even have some in the Arab world who say, we don't like the Iranian, different sect of Islam and all the rest. A lot of people see them negatively, but there's no evidence that they were violating the deal that we signed, the six-party deal.
Okay, Benjamin Netanyahu, I mean, he to me, I felt like he did his homework, and it was a nice presentation. It was effective. He showed 7 different sites where they were doing nuclear testing, so that's all a lie or made up?
That's it. It's not true that they were doing nuclear testing. If they're talking about testing, we remember part of the deal was a limited ability to do stuff domestically, but we would be in charge. The 6 parties would be there and have full knowledge. And everybody confirms that's the case. In fact, even the Defense Secretary of the United States, James Mattis, said that the inspection regime is robust and vital. That's his words just a few weeks ago. So, I mean, a lot of this, is anger at Iran. And I think, Iran's not a good guy in the world. We're going to have to rein them in. They've been developing missiles, sending money to bad actors. But this is not, that's not about what the deal was. The deal was to prevent them from getting nuclear weapons.
Well, it's not a good deal if you're, as you just said, enabling them to send money to all kinds of bad actors in Syria and Yemen and elsewhere. It's not a good deal if you help them restart their oil exports to Europe, a $35 billion annual industry for Iran. And so it seems to me that the better approach to the lead state sponsor of terror in the world, according to said State Department, would be to reduce their capacity to wreak havoc and institute terrorist activity the world over, as opposed to help underwrite it.
Well, I think you're moving the bar because I agree with what you said. I don't want to support them in any way. But remember, the goal and the immediate threat, the one that the whole world wanted to address, was their ability to develop nuclear weapons. And that's what we did. It was done in an effective manner. Everybody certified, and we certified, even the Trump administration certified, that was the case.
Yes, but you have our one true ally in the Middle East. I mean, I'll include Jordan, but Israel. They're just a completely different characterization of that cache of information they obtained from Iran, the 700 CDs full of schematics and details of their nuclear program.
Don't get
completely
don't get fooled by a bunch of publicity stunts and
publicity stunt.
I mean, this is something that,
don't get fooled by them.
Trying to throw a fog.
Don't get fooled by Israel in the presentation of all this evidence that was also reviewed by experts in the space. I mean, we talked to Michael Rubin at the American Enterprise Institute, others. This argument that this is everything, this is just stuff everybody knew, is argued at minimum and not true, said by many who are experts in this space as well. So the idea everybody certifies that Iran is abiding the spirit as well as the letter of this deal, that they got all kinds of cash for and unfrozen assets to access. There are a lot of people saying that isn't the case, that are not part of the Trump administration.
I've yet to see anybody make a credible argument in that way, and I look for them because I value different points of view. But I think you can make a case. Well, maybe this, maybe that, but that's just throwing a fog, Dan. I mean, the reality is that serious people like our own defense secretary says we had a robust, I'm quoting here, robust inspection regime, and we've had the Trump administration as well as the International Atomic and the UN and all those people say no violation.
Yeah, right. And we have Israel and the Israeli intelligence suggesting something completely different. So I mean,
they're trying to spin for their own political purposes.
Right, but the UN and the IAEA, they have no political agenda. Right? The UN doesn't have a political
agenda, but they have a long-standing record of highly credible assessments when it comes to these inspections.
Right. Hans Blix, right?
Oh my gosh! I mean, you just want to get back into partisan name calling, and but I don't think that speaks to the issue here.
Well, I mean, was Hans Blix and that meticulous regime, inspection regime, did that turn out to be as meticulous as advertised?
I don't know where you're going with this. I mean, you're going back in history in the past, but it doesn't have anything to do with the Iran deal, which has been certified by our own government.
I'm using
it. Believe U.S. intelligence, if you don't believe European intelligence, okay, but then we can stop talking.
Well, no, we don't have to stop talking. We have to establish that these agencies, international and U.S. intelligence, have been wrong in the past. The idea because something is certified means that they are without, that they're beyond reproach. That's nonsense, because the history suggests otherwise. And the point is to say what makes the most sense in terms of a policy dealing with Iran, because they haven't nuclearized yet, despite all of the information that our Israeli allies have, and something to be said about Israeli intelligence, for goodness sakes, the best in the world, arguably, certainly rivals the U.S., combined with the history of these agencies, combined with just makes rational sense against the lead state sponsor of terror in the world, you could say that this isn't, just Trump bloviations when it comes to walking away from this deal that Obama made. Even the money, you agree, you wouldn't have done, and that was part of the deal too.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't agree with that.
Well, you said it's a problem.
Yes, because I think that from what we do know, they are a sponsor of groups that are provoking unrest in the Middle East, and so I don't want that. I'm a guy who would like to see some settlement in the Middle East. But I think that what you're trying to do is undercut people who have credibility in order to just simply support a political position, which is, oh, it's a bad deal.
Yeah.
But that's just not true.
And the propaganda emanating from the Obama administration as detailed by
what about the Trump administration certifying the deal?
Well, the Obama administration, Ben Rhodes himself, the great novelist Ben Rhodes, talking about the echo chamber he created among the D.C. press corps to advance the political interest of that deal, to get that deal done. Did that happen too, or am I making that up?
No, you could go farther with that. But yes, people have to understand this was a very difficult negotiation. You have people who didn't want any part of it here in the U.S. And I'm thinking about people like, for example, Jeff Flake, Bob Menendez. Jeff Flake's a Republican, Bob Menendez a Democrat. Menendez, the Democrat who opposed the deal, said it was a mistake for the U.S. to withdraw because Iran has lived up to the terms of the deal and they don't have nuclear weapons. They're not on the brink of getting nuclear weapons because of this deal, and therefore we have a greater chance to achieve peace in the Middle East. That's an opponent of the deal speaking.
Well, I understand. There's a lot of cross currents here. My point is to say that at the end of the day, the idea of underwriting, which is what we're effectively doing, the lead state sponsor of terror in the world makes no sense to me. I don't see how that chills their interest in nuclearization. It incentivizes it. And that's essentially what Israel's arguing as well.
I think that's a different argument. It's an interesting argument, but it's not about, again, keeping them from having nuclear weapons. I think it's clear that, when they're building missiles, when they're firing missiles, they're getting involved in Syria, destabilizing, arguing with the Saudis and the rest. You know what? They're not good guys, but that was not the point, never was the point of the deal.
All right. Juan Williams, always fun to spar with you. Thank you for joining us. Juan Williams.
Thank you, guys.
Fox News contributor, columnist for The Hill, his piece, Trump's Dangerous Lies on Iran, that we have been debating. Juan, thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, will he or won't he? There's a debate brewing on whether or not Meghan Markle's dad's going to show up for the royal wedding. But first, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine today. A little chilly start there. Got a temperature right now of 49, going up to a high of 80. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, a low of 54. And for tomorrow, Thursday, some sunshine, a high of 78. Let's get into the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with a royal traffic update. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Well, traffic is moving along rather slowly and regressively. As you might say on the Kennedy inbound, it is jammed Canfield to the Burns Circle. It's not moving backward. It might just feel that way. It's gotten a lot heavier in the last half hour. 56 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 28 from Montrose, 27 on the Express. Outbound, now 56 minutes to O'Hare. It's 35 to get to Montrose. Eden's 28 minutes, Lycook Junction, outbound 25. Eisenhower, an hour and 16 minutes, 390 to downtown, 57 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 50 to 390. Stevenson an hour 16, 355 to the drive. Outbound 45 minutes. Ryan 30 minutes 95th to downtown. Front 8094 still jammed after an earlier crash at Calumet Avenue. It's cleared now, but westbound there are big delays from Bird to Calumet. Reagan Tollway now heavy. Naperville to 355 and 83 to the Tri-State. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. 60 Seconds of Sanity by me, long-form interviews in our Against the Current series, featuring various policymakers and opinion leaders. Podcast for Illinois Rising program covering state policy and politics. Our Heart of the Matter series featuring professional women speaking collegially about the important issues of the day. And don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com. Get a free property tax report on your home. And also look at 2017 updated home sales information to get a sense of home value in your neighborhood and community. All the property tax and home value info is at defendhomeowners.com. Everything else is upstream-ideas.com.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that use Balance of Nature as well.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Geiselhart, president and owner of Home Trust Mortgage and customer of Signature Bank. When the large banks turned away from the mortgage lending industry during the financial crisis, I turned to locally owned Signature Bank. Signature Bank stepped in and helped me expand our business at a time when the larger banks wouldn't. Today, I'm proud to say Home Trust Mortgage has been able to expand our business in Illinois and the Great Lakes region. We couldn't have done that without the help of Signature Bank. Signature Bank truly helps Chicago businesses like mine grow and thrive. That's why we also became personal customers and shareholders of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Now, Geiger Wealth brings you Grow My Retirement.
Thanks for joining us today, where once a week we get together to talk about retirement planning. Bill, I know that your firm focuses on working with couples in their late 50s to early 60s in preparing their portfolios for retirement. I've heard you say in the past where a 401k can be both a blessing and a curse. What do you mean by that?
Well, Mike, if you're in your late 50s to early 60s, you have got two really big jobs to do between now and the time you retire. The first big job is to make sure you don't have any big losses at this stage of your life. Most people at this stage of your life have more money than they've ever had before, and you really don't want a big loss. The other job, you want to make sure that you start creating dependable, sustainable income for yourself so you can pay your bills in retirement. Here's the problem with 401k plan. It's a blessing and a curse. You sign up for a 401k plan, the money comes out before taxes, you get employer matches, and you kind of forget about it. One day you look up, and there's a whole bunch of money there. That's nice. That's the blessing part. The curse part is there's only two flavors of ice cream in a 401k. That is risk and money market. And you're either at risk or you're not making anything whatsoever. A lot of people don't know this, Mike, but there is a provision in the tax code and in most employers' retirement plans that while you're still working, you can roll the contents of your 401k plan out of the 401k plan into an IRA, and you can still continue participating in your 401k plan. In the IRA, you have so much more choice in terms of what you want to do. Mike, I know you're going to talk about this in just a moment, but for the first 5 callers who call in with at least $500,000 in their portfolio, we're going to sit down with them personally on a complimentary basis and help them put together a full-blown plan for their retirement and take control of their 401k.
Bill, this is an incredible opportunity. Folks, nothing can be more frustrating than working hard your entire life, saving as much as possible for retirement, than having no idea how you're going to make your life savings last 20 to 30 years or more. Bill and his team at Geiger Wealth can help. They have a special offer for you today. They're going to sit down with you personally to create a full-blown plan for your retirement. Folks, this is up to a $3,000 value. It's complimentary for the next 5 callers who have at least $500,000 saved for retirement. Call 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498. Together with you, Bill and his team are going to translate the complex financial planning process into easy-to-understand steps with a roadmap to help you get to where you need to be. Call Geiger Wealth right now for your complimentary, personalized, full-blown retirement plan. 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498.
Geiger Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco Inc.
AM 560, The Answer.
I know you've been waiting for your royal wedding update, but we have some breaking news. After hearing yesterday from People magazine that Meghan Markle's 73-year-old father was going to go to the wedding, was going to walk his daughter down the aisle, it has emerged last night that after that day of confusion, it is official Thomas Markle will not be attending his daughter's wedding. In a dramatic turn of events, he has announced that he's going to be having heart surgery because of his heart condition.
He's been under a tremendous amount of stress amidst health challenges.
So that's his other daughter, Stephanie. And she's not invited to the wedding either. So
it's a real emotional roller coaster. I know what it's like to be under a tremendous amount of stress. Coming up, socialists in theory run into socialists in practice in Seattle. We'll discuss with Steve Moore.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
53 degrees. Skies are sunny. What's shaping up to be an historic summit between President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un might be running into some headwinds. As North Korean state media reports, the country's foreign affairs minister says Pyongyang may pull out if Washington insists the North give up its nuclear program in totality. Federal investigators are looking into a deadly explosion at a medical office in Orange County, California. 1 woman was killed, 3 were injured. A matchup is set up in one of the key gubernatorial races in November. Incumbent Democratic Governor Tom Wolf will face off against Republican State Senator Scott Wagner, who won yesterday's primary in the Keystone State.
Thank you for your support and confidence, and let's roll on to the general election in November.
Wagner calling himself a disruptor and saying Pennsylvanians have a choice between him and a disappointment. Pennsylvania was in President Trump's win column in 2016. A top Senate committee expected to give CIA Director nominee Gina Haspel a green light today. Hundreds of thousands of people across the Northeast have no electricity after a deadly storm blew through overnight. 3 are in custody following a police chase and a fiery crash on Chicago's west side. The search continues for a 3-month-old girl and her mother after they went missing from Chicago's Lawndale neighborhood. And a Lombard woman is accused of sexually assaulting a student while working as an intern at Glenbard East High School. Elizabeth Flint will appear in court next month, charged in DuPage County Court. She posted a $5,000 cash bond. Flint, according to authorities, assaulted a 17-year-old student on 3 occasions in April at the teen's home. Cubs beat the Braves 3-2 to begin a series in Atlanta. White Sox fell to the Pirates 7-0. The news is a service of Accountemps. When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it is time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance professionals on a temporary or project basis and fast. Call today. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says, put up or shut up.
People who aren't suffering from Trump derangement syndrome are saying, show us the money, show us the collusion, because that was the whole basis for this investigation. The whole special counsel is based on that. It wasn't Paul Manafort's bank deals. All of that stuff is totally incidental and separate from the Russian collusion investigation.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Get your truly free credit score and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma. Download the Credit Karma app today. Credit Karma. Get knowing.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
7:36. Let's get a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Southbound 53, traffic bumper to bumper, Dundee Road to Kirchhoff. The crash blocking both the left and right shoulders. Northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway is jammed. Out of the Reagan Tollway and Findlay to St. Charles. 8094 is still extremely heavy westbound Burr to Calumet Avenue after an eastbound crash. Eastbound still slow coming across the state line from Bishopford Freeway. 8 28 minutes Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 25. Kennedy, 56 minutes O'Hare to downtown, outbound the same. Eisenhower, an hour and 16 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, an hour 16, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic service at Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner. Find your ink in stock every time at a low price. Every day, so you can meet every deadline. Staples. It's traffic on AM 560.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Warmer today, sunshine, high near 80. Currently 52. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chambers630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. There is legislation that has been introduced to try and save the FISI house.
Really? Is Kevin... Wait, let me guess. It's the Kevin Bastuga bill?
Yeah, the Kevin... Yes. Yes, he'll be remembered in the annals of FISI history.
There's a lot of well-known FISIs. Johnny Red Kerr is a sci-fi. Jerry Colangelo is a sci-fi, FISI. And Kevin Bastuga.
Yes. Right.
And I'm sorry. The Kevin Bastuga of Signature Bank.
Right. Well, we talked about this. Taxes jeopardizing the Greek system at U of I, the highest property tax of the nation, impacting Greek life there. And, it's one thing if the political class liquidates your home or collateralizes your home for somebody else's pension. That's one thing. That's fine. You go after the FISI house at U of I.
Oh, you're fixing for a fight.
Then, yeah, all bets are off. So taxes, just to refresh what we're talking about here, taxes on average have increased 80% in the past year for approximately 70 buildings near U of I's campus that house students and serve as club headquarters, including Phi Kappa Psi, FISI, has seen its taxes go from $19,432 in 2016 to $72,972 in 2018, a 373% nominal increase in 2 years.
Now, I know this firsthand, though. They practically tore their old house down in 2016 and built a new house. That's probably why it's even more, but still, it's the same square footage, though. That's the problem. I mean, you get taxed heavier when you expand your home, correct? Or am I wrong on this?
Well, if you upgrade.
That's why a lot of people don't tear their house, raise their house. They just put on an addition or, make some changes inside.
Yeah.
But that's none of the government's business if you upgrade your kitchen or your dorm area or
that
your
life-size
TV room.
Life-size Johnny Red Kerr statue really jacked
really
up their
cool.
property
You know
taxes.
what I love best about Johnny Red Kerr? He never used cups when he drank his beer. He just held, because his hands were so big, he would just hold a pitcher of beer, and that was his cup, and he'd refill it underneath the tap.
I loved the color during the game from Johnny Red Kerr when Jordan or Pippen would make an amazing play, and he would, Jordan! So descriptive.
I love that guy. Have you ever gone out with him? I mean, as in a social setting, not dating. I mean, he had a lovely wife. She would always be with him, too. But have you ever partied with him?
I've never partied with Johnny Red Kerr, and now I won't have the chance, except in heaven.
Right.
If I make it.
No, you'll make it there. You'll love him. It'll be great. And tell him I sent you.
I will do so. We'll be waiting for you. So House Bill 4914, bouncing around Springfield, would exempt school-approved nonprofit dormitories and residence halls from property taxes.
Oh.
And here's the good news about that. That just means higher property taxes for you. We go ahead.
Save the kiddies, but pass the savings on to the charge on to yourself.
Yeah, pass the FISI house costs on to you. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do here, and I support property tax relief wherever it can be had, and Champaign County is clearly trying to stick up U of I because obviously that's a property-rich area, and there's not a lot of those in Illinois generally anymore. So House Bill 4914, there's an effort afoot by U of I alums, as well as more specifically even FISIs, to save the FISI house, since they put in the Italian marble, they'd like to keep it, right?
Yeah, but it's sad because some of the students, not all the students there come from wealthy families. And if you want to be in a fraternity, which I think is a rite of passage, it helps mold you into a man, I think.
I wasn't in a fraternity.
Well, maybe that's your problem.
It could be.
Maybe you should go back to school and join a fraternity.
All
like
right.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah,
back to school.
I could. And I would have a similar digs as Rodney had in
But
back to school,
The
too.
problem is some of these kids that come from, modest homes, they can't afford these property taxes because if they were going to have to pass the property tax dollars onto the people that are living in the fraternity. And if you go from 19,432 to 72,972,000 in 2 years, that's a bit of a problem.
That's
a rent increase.
It's definitely a big spike. Now, before you get too empathetic for these poor downtrodden FISIs and the University of Illinois more generally, I'm sure there are many alums listening.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe take a look around the rest of the campus. Stroll metaphorically through the quad with me at U of I, won't you? A graduate student union is demanding that STEM workers, science tech workers, refuse employment in the military, and that 90% of all military spending be reallocated to social justice efforts. The Graduate Employee Organization at U of I in Champaign formally endorsed the STEM Strikes the War Machine campaign in a press release, encouraging supporters to take the pledge to refuse employment from all military and defense companies. In order to weaken the military-industrial complex and build leverage for our demand, we pledge not to work for any military or defense company. Mom and Dad who sent your youngster down to U of I for that engineering program so he could get a good job working for Raytheon, or sorry, nope, graduate students are putting the kibosh on that. How do you like that anti-military posture from the graduate students that you're subsidizing? Remember here, U of I, the state, so we're all involved in it. You don't have to be a U of I alum. You all get to pay for it, just like CPS. The state provides twice the per pupil subsidy as the national average, state of Illinois, to our state colleges and universities. And this is your return on investment. The Phi-Psi House getting the property tax kill shot, and your grad students at U of I encouraging STEM workers not to work for military-related companies, defense contractors, and the like. But wait, there's more.
Oh, no. They're
You know-
not touching the Kappa Kappa Gammas, are they?
A convicted felon who was refused a job as a graduate assistant at the University of Illinois on the account of a police record can now claim illegal discrimination. University of Illinois students who commit so-called microaggressions against graduate assistants can now be charged with harassment.
Oh, come on.
Uh,
What's a microaggression again?
and an,
Isn't that a
whatever
word?
I say
Interpretation
it is.
is?
Whatever I
Whatever
say.
you say it is?
If you wore like, I don't know.
Something offensive, that would be a microaggression.
Well, you're right, something I determine offensive. So cultural appropriation. If you wore
Like those loud
like a dashiki,
pants word.
which you're wont to do
A what?
to the show, you put on a
dashiki?
dashiki.
A dashiki.
Then
Is that from D&G? Dolce and Gabbana?
I don't know if they carry a line or not, but I could then have you imprisoned.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, anything about that? Yeah. So, and also an illegal immigrant graduate assistant who might have to miss work due to visa issues must be accommodated by their supervisor. These are the new ground rules that are part of this contract inked between the University of Illinois Graduate Employees Organization, the GEO. They're the ones behind this STEM workers refuse employment at defense contractors push. They cut this deal with school poobahs as part of their ground rules. The contract emerged amidst a debate in Springfield over a measure that would expand the unionization of the U of I's graduate research assistants and other graduate student workers. This is sponsored by Kwame Raoul, running for Attorney General, Dan Biss, who ran for governor, and another socialist, Will Guzzardi from Chicago. Yeah, what do you think about that? Microaggressions as legal crimes, and accommodating illegal immigrants who have positions at the university and have to potentially miss work. What do you think? You still worried about the Phi-Psi House, are you?
312-642-5600 is our Turnkey Depot answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
Steve in Hinsdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, quick sorority question for Amy down at University of Illinois. My wife is a graduate. She's a brunette, smart girl. Her father taught physics. She told me over the weekend that to get into Kappa Kappa Gamma at U of I, Illinois, you have to be a blonde. Is that right? She's a brunette. She says that's the only reason she didn't get in. She didn't have blonde hair. Help me out. Thank you. Goodbye.
No, we do not discriminate against brunettes, tall people or short people. But on average, at University of Iowa, I didn't go to University of Illinois, but at University of Iowa, we were about half and half blonde, half brunette.
You can become a blonde though, easy enough.
Just takes $4 at the dime store, or not the dime store, but at Rite Aid, and yeah, you can become a blonde. Yeah. Next time when she goes through Rush again, she could dye her hair.
Any other calls on rushing sororities? We have an expert here. Can provide advice and counsel to your daughter or son. I don't want to.
No, don't start that experiment. One time, one kid, one man, or young kid, I should not even call him a man, at Northwestern, tried to pledge a sorority, and thank goodness he did not get in.
Because he wasn't blonde.
Because he had different body parts.
Mm.
And they're not playing that game. Sororities. Because
chromosomes,
private
for
club,
that
and we
matter.
don't care what anybody says. Men are never going to be joining a sorority, and girls are never going to be joining fraternities. And the day that happens is the day that I move to a different country.
Okay. All right. There you go. Marker has been put down.
There's my line in the sand.
We were wanted to talk about the Seattle head tax a little bit too, and
yeah, hi.
I've got some good news for Jeff Bezos. That
yeah.
that head tax that Amazon is
awesome.
is bristling at. All right, $275 per employee.
Yeah, to help the homeless
course.
in Seattle.
Yeah.
City council members love to spend other people's money. They see a problem, some Hep A cases because everyone's living together and going to the bathroom and accepting toilets.
They can go in Starbucks now.
Oh, they can do that too. Yeah, but the problem is, they're spending other people's money because they want to help these homeless people who most of them want to be homeless. They don't want shelters. There are already shelters available to them, but they don't go in them because they like the freedom of living on the streets. But okay, so, start this new tax. So is Bezos going to go along with it? Do we know?
No, Amazon is not happy about it because, again, they're socialists in theory only. They're capitalists in practice.
They give in other ways, they say.
They're trying to make the world a better place. I know. That's a punchline on Silicon Valley. And Amazon and those tech companies that are, screaming over the Seattle head tax are life-imitating art, Silicon Valley in this case. Mike in Park Ridge, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy. I've called in many times, but never about fraternities. I was a fraternity member at the University of Illinois, and when I moved into the fraternity house in 1991, I did so because it was less expensive than living in the dorm.
Yep.
It was the fraternity prided itself on always being competitive and being at least $1 less than living in the dorm, including room and board.
And how were you hazed?
Mildly.
Oh.
What
Mildly.
fraternity
Actually,
were you in?
You know what? They're really all the same. I was in one of the big fraternities.
Pardon?
A big
not
fraternity.
Phi Psi.
Oh, Sigma Chi.
Yeah,
Sigma Chi.
well,
Pretty boy.
No, he was a Pike.
There were 3 or 4 large fraternities, and then I think there were 52 in all.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you remember that time fondly, do you?
I do. I attribute many of my leadership qualities and work ethic to living and working in the fraternity. It was a $250,000 business that a bunch of 19-year-olds had to figure out how to run on our own.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Life lessons. I'm telling
And then you were doubling as chief of Leinewick at the time too, so that's a lot of responsibility for a teenager.
Yeah, that's right. That's right about the time where Chief Leinewick was getting retired.
Mm.
Did you date a blonde Kappa Gamma?
Or brunette?
No, but my wife is a brunette Kappa Gamma.
Oh, proves up.
You
All right.
married well.
Your theory holds up, Amy. Thanks for the call, Mike. Appreciate it. Kappa Gammas, we've established this morning, Kappa Gammas do accept brunettes.
Exactly.
All right.
We don't discriminate, all right?
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Risk mitigation is an important consideration that smart companies pay attention to in today's complicated business climate. Some of the greatest risks occur when your company hires new employees or when you execute new business financial relationships. When your company hires, leases, or conducts financial transactions, decisions are critical. That's why veteran-owned and operated Global Verification Network is a company you should know. Startups to Fortune 100s trust Global Verification Network, and so should you. They're a background screening and investigative services company dedicated to expert, timely, and affordable background screening services for employment, tenant screening, and business due diligence. Global Verification Network is headquartered in Chicagoland, a federally recognized veteran-owned small business, and never offshores data like many competitors. To request your company's risk analysis without obligation or cost, visit mygvn.com or call 877-695-1179 or online at mygvn.com. Global Verification Network, the risk mitigation experts, 877-695-1179.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
In my practice, I was getting to the point where I couldn't have the strength to see that many patients anymore. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It really affected my breathing and the strength that I had. And I was introduced to the fruits and veggies. Just slowly, my strength started to come back, and it was because of the good nutrition. I can't say enough good for Balance of Nature and what it's done for me, and I recommend it to everybody.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. G.K. Chesterton observed that men do not differ much about what things they will call evils. They differ enormously about what evils they will call excusable. In D.C., what is excused depends on who is committing the evil. The standard of acceptable personal conduct is inversely proportional to one's partisan value. Ted Kennedy was indispensable, whereas Al Franken was expendable. Two different eras, yes, but consider, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg drowned a woman, do you think the left would demand her resignation and give Trump another SCOTUS nomination? The use of political capital to quantify character lays bare the hypocrisy of ruling elites, but worse, it results in the steady degradation of the rule of law by raising our tolerance level for the excesses of said ruling class. 30 years ago, Gary Hart's POTUS ambitions were felled by an affair, and Douglas Ginsburg's Supreme Court nomination derailed by a history of marijuana usage. Both would be treated as veritable Quakers by today's standards. Senator X or Governor Y is to be exempted from the laws we must follow, much less any code of common decency we may conceive. He is too important to this or that movement. Excusing evils to advance political ends steadily supplants the rule of law with the rule of men, and the rule of men with no character at that.
Right now, are you sitting in your home afraid to go out in public, afraid to be seen in a restaurant, afraid to talk or smile knowing those dentures will fall out at any minute? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we can handle all your worries. We have a complete in-house denture lab, and we're here to help you smile and eat with all the confidence again. Every day I see folks like Mary, whose family didn't know where else to turn. Mary's been losing weight and wouldn't eat with her ill-fitting dentures. After talking with Mary, we realized that not only did her denture not fit well, but she hated the way it made her look. We fabricated a new denture that day, and we designed it with Mary's concerns in mind. The smile on her face when we finished conveyed the greatest feeling of all. Mary not only looked beautiful, but she was happy and couldn't wait to get downstairs and hit the restaurant. Mary is happy and her family is happy. That's what we do for our patients. We change their lives. Call us at 847-244-4000 for your free consultation. Don't hide in your house any longer. Enjoy your summer with a new smile and a new outlook on life. Again, call us at 847-244-4000. We are located in Gurnee at Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. Excellence in dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app and download today.
Have a young golf enthusiast? Keep them busy this summer with the 2018 Robito Golf Academy Junior Golf Program at Bolingbrook Golf Club. It's a great chance for youngsters to learn golf fundamentals and get warmed up for the golf season by the professional teaching staff at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There are special programs divided into age groups, and sessions are still available but going fast. Get more info at bolingbrookgolfclub.com and click on driving range, then junior golf.
Everyone needs to make smart financial decisions, and Townstone Financial can help. Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. I always say Townstone cares about you more than any other mortgage company. So what if I told you that Townstone loves to talk to its customers? It's 2018. The internet is great for many things. However, until artificial intelligence can figure out if your condominium can be approved or correctly calculate your bonus and commission income, it's really a good idea to let the experts at Townstone Financial help you with your next refinance, purchase, or reverse mortgage. Since our time is free and so is our expert advice. Keep in mind, you are not paying a penny more in closing costs or interest rate for our knowledge and guidance. We pride ourselves on beating the big banks every day on closing costs and interest rates. And remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call me, Barry Sterner, today at 312-896-2110. That's 312-896-2110, or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, he was harassed at a Cheesecake Factory restaurant because of his Make America Great hat. Now he speaks.
And remembering Tom Wolfe and the Rococo style of his that I emulate at 8:08.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
3 are in custody after a police chase and a fiery crash on the west side. Search continues for a missing infant and mother. From Chicago, Mayor Rahm Emanuel calls the lawsuit against the Obama Center frivolous. A new gun dealer bill has been introduced in Springfield. Cubs rally to beat the Braves, and the White Sox are blanked by the Buccos. Warmer day ahead, sunshine with a high near 80 and a nice evening ahead, a low of 54. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
China urges North Korea not to back out. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After North Korean threat to cancel next month's meeting with President Trump, the North did call off talks today, with South Korea upset over joint U.S. military exercises, calling them a ruckus, saying it's no longer interested in a one-sided negotiation to give up nuclear weapons. Fox's John Decker has a reaction live from the White House.
In making its threat, North Korea accused the U.S. of harboring sinister intentions. That brought this reaction this morning from White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders.
We're ready to meet, and if it happens, that's great. And if it doesn't, we'll see what happens. We're still hopeful that the meeting will take place.
The highly anticipated summit is due to take place on June 12th in Singapore. South Korea's defense ministry said Wednesday that the joint military drills would continue as scheduled despite the protests from Pyongyang. Dave?
John, the president has tweeted congratulations to two Republicans who won their primaries, Senator Deb Fischer in Nebraska and Lou Barletta in Pennsylvania.
The media said that Donald Trump could not win in Pennsylvania.
Barletta says he, too, has defied the odds when he won races for mayor and then Congress. He'll face incumbent Democratic Senator Bob Casey. In Nebraska, Democrat Jane Raybould won the primary to challenge Fischer. Looks like Gina Haspel will be the next CIA director. The top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner, now supports her despite a role in enhanced interrogations after 9/11.
In her response, Haspel said, with the benefit of hindsight, the enhanced interrogation program is not one the CIA should have undertaken. 4 other Senate Democrats have also announced support for Haspel. The Intelligence Committee will vote on that nomination today. Republican leaders are hoping for a final Senate confirmation vote later this week.
Fox's Jared Halpern, the former CIA Director John Brennan, will testify before that same committee today in private in the Russia meddling investigation, being questioned over a report accusing the Russians of trying to help Donald Trump win the election. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine and 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 57 degrees right now. Here in Chicago this morning, 3 are in custody following a police chase and a fiery crash on Chicago's west side. Police say officers began chasing a vehicle yesterday because it matched the description of a vehicle used in an earlier shooting. Now, that vehicle slammed into an SUV yesterday afternoon. 3 inside the escaping car ran away. Before the vehicle caught fire, they were later arrested. Mayor Emanuel is calling a lawsuit filed to block construction of the planned Obama Presidential Center in Chicago a frivolous one.
The suit by a nonprofit called Protect Our Parks claims the organizers have misled the public about the true purpose of the Obama Presidential Center, which they say isn't really a presidential library since his documents won't be kept there. Mayor Emanuel calls the suit frivolous.
The notion that somehow this is not a presidential library because the actual papers will be in New York, but we'll digitize them and have them here in Chicago, to me not only is frivolous, means that the people that file this don't understand the 21st century.
The Plan Commission is expected to approve the center and the transfer of park property later this week. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
The search continues to try and find a 3-month-old girl and her biological mother after they went missing from Chicago's Lawndale neighborhood after a supervised visit on Monday. Will County authorities continue investigating a deadly multi-vehicle crash along I-57? It happened yesterday afternoon just south of Manhattan Money Road. Bug spray and long sleeves. These are your best bets if you're heading out to the fields or woods in Illinois this summer. The Illinois Department of Public Health yesterday again warning diseases caused by tick bites increased 58% through 2016. Cubs over the Braves 3-2. White Sox fell to the Pirates 7-0. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Los Angeles will be one of the first cities to receive Verizon's 5G service by the end of the year. The company previously named Sacramento, California, as its first 5G city. Verizon claims 5G will be 10 to 100 times faster than its existing cellular network. Amazon Amazon is getting ready to roll out nationwide discounts at Whole Foods Market for its Prime members. MarketWatch says starting in Florida today, it will offer Prime members an extra 10% discount on sale items. Amazon is planning to expand the discounts at Whole Foods Markets nationwide this summer. Netflix is stepping up its original programming. Reuters says the streaming service is planning to release at least 86 Netflix original films this year. The Dow was down 193 yesterday. NASDAQ declined 59. S&P dropped 18. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. and hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
The clock is ticking. Every day you put off buying life insurance can cost you big time. The older you get, the more you'll have to pay. And a sudden accident or unexpected illness could cause your rates to skyrocket or even make you uninsurable. Beat the clock. Call SelectQuote now. No hassle, no obligation. In minutes, you'll have a choice of your best rates from up to 10 highly rated life insurance companies. Richard, 40 years old, takes meds to control his cholesterol. Still, SelectQuote got him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. Under $1 a day. Don't risk your family's security another minute. Get your free quote now. Just call 800-694-1010. That's 800-694-1010. 800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
16 million people suffer from depression in this country. 6 million of them have drug-resistant depression, which means they do not find any relief. Hi, my name is Ben Klein, and I know this very well, as my oldest daughter suffers from depression, and she did not find any relief from the drugs. We found TMS therapy, and we got her the treatment, and it completely changed her life. If you're one of those 6 million people who suffer from drug-resistant depression, contact us. It can change your life too.
HPR centers in Chicagoland and Milwaukee offer TMS therapy. In just a few weeks, you can change your life. And it's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and Medicare. In a natural way, you can make real progress in the battle with depression. Cure or remission. Get a free consultation. 800-604-0208. 800-604-0208. HPR Centers. Go to endmydepression.com. End your depression.
It is 8:07. Let's get a check on the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Pike southbound 53 is jammed. Dundee to Kirchhoff for the crash, blocking both shoulders. Northbound, the Veterans Memorial delays are from Fountain most of the way to St. Charles. Delays on the inbound Eden starting at Elston. 23 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 29. Kennedy, an hour and 5 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 43 minutes from Montrose, 32 on the Express. Outbound an hour and 5 minutes to the airport. Eisenhower, an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound an hour. Stevenson, an hour 14, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 45 minutes. Bryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic service of Discover Student Loans. Figuring out how to cover college costs? Discover Student Loans is one of the top private student loan lenders in the country with great rates, zero fees, plus students can earn a cash reward for their good grades. Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Chris Morelli.
Today, partly sunny skies. Look for a high of 79. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, low 56. Thursday, we'll have a blend of sun and clouds and a high of 79. Mostly clear Thursday night, low 56. I'm Chris Morelli on AM 560, The Answer.
57 O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. After hearing of the passing of Tom Wolfe yesterday at the age of 87, I believe, the great gonzo journalist Tom Wolfe, I went back and reread some passages from Radical Chic and Mau Mauing the Flatcatchers in his honor, and I also...
Whereas I just watched The Right Stuff.
Yeah, you just watched. That's good, too. Yeah, that's right. His book, the basis for that great movie. I mean, great book, great movie about, obviously, the first manned space flight. But did not read I Am Charlotte Simmons, also in his honor.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of a mess. But Tom Wolfe was one of the greats of a new generation of new journalists, as it were. And if you want to really enjoy just a passage of Wolfe's writing, I always go back to the same place, and that's in Radical Chic. His description of the Black Panther Party
Black Panther Party
at Leonard Bernstein, the great American composer Leonard Bernstein's duplex in Manhattan.
Really?
I mean, it is just unbelievable, and it is so entertainingly written and detailed down to the little Roquefort cheeses that you'll really enjoy it. I mean, you
feel like you're in the room.
Well, and it also, I mean, just the implicit satire of the leftist elites like Leonard Bernstein and his wife. I mean, it just gets savaged, like, but with a surgeon's knife, not a meat axe.
Well,
really good.
Your hero, William F. Buckley, said that Tom Wolfe is the most skillful writer in America, and he could do more things with words than anyone else. And they did a nice bio on him on NBC Nightly News, and they talked about that every day he wore a white triple-breasted suit when he'd go into his office.
Yes, he's very stylish.
Yes.
It ends up creating a kind of a personality. I don't really have to say much.
It's true. Yeah, it's a great insight. It is so true. And for Bill Buckley to say nobody was more conversant or precise with the language than Tom Wolfe is a true compliment. All right, switching gears. We talked about this story yesterday. This incident at the Cheesecake Factory in Florida, where a black gentleman goes there with his girlfriend and is wearing a Make America Great Again hat. He's a Trump fan. And the staff at Cheesecake Factory, according to eyewitness accounts as well as this guy's account, Junior's is like Eugenio Jr., right?
Yeah, Eugenio Jr. He's 22 years old.
According to all accounts, staff ridiculed him, threatened him with physical violence, booed him, clapped when he and his girlfriend were leaving. I mean, just
they followed him to the bathroom. I mean, they harassed him.
Right, the most kind of the most boorish sort of public ridicule, and again, against the backdrop of the Philadelphia Starbucks incident. This is a black gentleman. Where is the national conversation about what happened at Cheesecake Factory?
Well, even the Cheesecake Factory owners, they've not reached out to him. The CEO didn't fly in for a one-on-one meeting. They didn't even apologize to him in person. So Eugenio, I'm a name assassinator.
Mm-hmm.
Eugenio, yes, thank you, was just on Fox and Friends and told them what exactly happened.
Oh, well, we were sitting at the table, and my girlfriend's aunt started noticing, and she informed us that, hey, there's a couple of coworkers back there looking at Eugene and making gestures towards him. So I just turned around and looked at them. I didn't say anything. I see that they're staring at me, staring at my girlfriend's family. They're just trying to intimidate us, and I just ignored the whole thing.
What
I
were
just
they
stayed on my
saying?
phone watching.
What types of things were they saying?
Well, after I turned around and was looking at my phone, they all started getting behind us, and one of the coworkers was saying, "Man, I'll knock that hat off his head. I'll hit him so hard that knock his hat off." They were clenching their fists, and they were just standing behind me, trying to like scare us and stuff. I mean, I wasn't really, intimidated by anything, but my girlfriend's family and everybody, we were just, it was just sad, there was just, everybody was disappointed. Mother's Day was completely ruined, and everybody, it's just sad the outcome, the way everything happened.
I mean, you're in, and when you're surrounded by people, it's a scary situation, especially if you're around women too, and you're supposed to protect the women, which most, upstanding men do. Then he got up and went to the bathroom, and they were like stalking him.
I walked to the restroom with my girlfriend. Walked me to the restroom, and as I was walking back, a whole group of people came out of the kitchen and just started shouting and yelling and just clapping things and saying things towards me as I was walking back to my seat. You know, I just completely ignored it, but I can tell my girlfriend was uncomfortable, and it was just really wrong.
I would have called the police.
What for what?
For harassment. You want to make sure you get out of there safely. And clearly the manager, I don't know where the manager was in all this. Maybe the manager was participating.
And where was everybody else? I always love the bystander question. What are the bystanders doing other than filming it so they can report it to the press when the story is written?
They were knee deep in cheesecake. I mean,
Are you going to boycott Cheesecake Factory, or is it just too delicious to boycott? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Is there a substitute to the Cheesecake Factory, like the Rainforest Cafe? Or
no, Cheesecake Factory, their menu is as thick as a Lakeview phone book. I mean, they bring
which
the
is the signature of a good restaurant.
Which is
you measure restaurants, you measure the quality of restaurants by the size of the menu.
Well, no, I actually have never even been to a cheesecake. Now in the past month, I've been to two. The one in Skokie and the one in Lincolnshire.
And were there cat calls and ridicule directed your way?
No, but I wasn't wearing a MAGA hat.
Well, next time you go to a Cheesecake Factory, why don't you test that out?
Yeah, so he said, you know what, I'm not taking my Trump hat off ever. I don't even care about this incident. I love Trump.
Man, I love Donald Trump and how, you know, he's just what the country needs. You know, he's a true American. You know, he really cares for the well-being of America, and he just, you know, people will say what they want about him. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's a free country,
right.
And I think Donald Trump is like everything that we've all needed this country.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Will you boycott the Cheesecake Factory? You know what? I think I'll stay away. I guess I stayed away for decades and then went for a month, and I don't need to go back.
I will continue my lifetime boycott of the Cheesecake Factory that has nothing to do with this incident.
Well, he asked, is this because you're African American, or what was this harassment about?
At the end of the day, this isn't, to me, it isn't about being black, white, or race. You know, anybody could wear the hat, you know, white man, a Latina man. It's just about freedom of speech. You know, this is America. Everyone should be entitled to their own opinions and their own beliefs. You know, if somebody wants to wear a hat, like Make America Great Again hat, whatever they want, you know, you should support their decisions. And nobody should be disrespected, treated the way I was treated on Sunday.
I agree with that, obviously. Although, what I would say to... can I call him Gino? I think we know him well enough now. What I would say to Gino is he's right about that on philosophically. But as Jason Whitlock said on Tucker Carlson last week, Whitlock's a sports reporter, sports writer. He was on to talk about the Kanye West Trump love. Yeah. And he basically said that, look, if you're black and you express any support for Donald Trump, then you're kicked out of the black community. And so it is a little bit different, I think, and perhaps that was in part what generated a response that may have been different had Gino not been black.
Now, will Gino go back to the Cheesecake Factory?
Going to go back to Cheesecake Factory ever?
I doubt it. Definitely not.
I wouldn't go back. You don't give them your money after that.
I wouldn't go back based
on
the quality of the food. But...
No, the food's really good. They had great salads, and now I can't eat them anymore.
No.
Very sad.
Perry and Niles, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, America. How are you?
Good. Hi, Perry.
I want to thank Dan.
Yeah.
Dan, you could always just steal my idea and then hang up on me. I really appreciate the fact that you give me a chance to talk.
Okay.
This is important. What's really important here? Take your damn hat off when you go into a restaurant. You don't sit down at the table with the trucker hat. I don't care how cheesy the place is.
Pun intended.
Yeah,
okay.
You know what? I
agree.
My parents always, if we had a hat, because as a girl, I was a tomboy, I'd wear a hat. They'd like, take that dang hat off at the table. You can't wear a hat in church or while you're having dinner. You know, you make a point there.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Perry.
Thanks.
It is the Cheesecake Factory, though. Point of order. So it's kind of sort of like It's sort of like being at a picnic.
Cheesecake. I don't think you understand. It's kind of a fine establishment. It's not a TGIF Fridays. It's not a Rainforest Cafe. You should treat yourself to the Cheesecake Factory, but now you can't go because you wouldn't be supporting Trump.
James in Westmont.
Hey guys, I can empathize with this guy because when I wear my NRA life jacket, I get a lot of weird stares and not so much confrontation. I think they think I'm armed.
Yes, exactly.
Which is okay. But I can empathize with this guy, and I do agree with the fact that you shouldn't wear a hat inside a restaurant. I'm kind of old school that way. But I mean, I don't see the outcries and the outrage from like Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton, and if I believe it was reported he was called the N-word too.
Yes, that was in the story.
Which is,
yeah.
So where's the outrage? I want to know.
Thanks for the call, James. What if it was a fine white fedora like Tom Wolfe used to wear?
Oh.
Could you eat at the Cheesecake Factory with that on?
Yeah.
Do you think Tom Wolfe ate at the Cheesecake Factory with his hat on?
312-642-5600. No, I don't think he did. I actually think that he took his hat off.
Of course, yes.
'Cause he knows about etiquette.
Bill and Skokie.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Morning.
I want to see how long it's going to take for the CEO of Cheesecake Factory to say, I'm sorry. Do you remember 2 weeks ago when the Starbucks incident happened?
Oh, yeah.
The Philly CEO was on his feet begging like 3 hours after the whole thing happened.
Oh, yeah. And
it's
then
all about race. Let's see it.
The city of Philadelphia
Thanks,
gave the
Bill.
gentleman $200,000. Well, they received money from Starbucks. We don't know how much. And then the two gentlemen gave this new program in Philadelphia for kids $200,000. So they could have gotten anywhere. I mean, maybe $1 million. We don't know.
Well, if I can get $1 million from the Cheesecake Factory, if people ridicule me and they throw me out,
Then you'll go to the Cheesecake Factory?
I'm starting to get interested. You have my attention. Chip in St. Charles. Hey, Chip.
Chip.
Hello, Chip. There we go.
Hi, I just want to say one thing. Free Kanye. Free Kanye.
Is Kanye in a can?
Is he at the free cheesecake?
Thanks for the call,
Factory?
Chip. Yeah, okay. Jim in the loop.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was wondering if they're going to shut down all the cheesecake factories around the country for sensitivity training like the Starbucks did.
That's right.
Good question. Thanks, Jim.
No, that's coming. Isn't that coming in May? For 4 afternoons? I mean, for 4 hours and 1 afternoon in May, they're going to have sensitivity training.
And they'll also, I think, include in that training, per the new bathroom policy, how to treat hepatitis.
It's Hep A.
Because
A.
that's
not
what,
to be confused with B or C.
Yeah, that's what you're going to be getting with your lattes at Starbucks.
Oh, it's May 29th, by the way. Thank you very much.
Put that on my calendar.
Yes, you cannot go to Starbucks. It'll be closed.
Verlon on the south side.
I want to say to the first two callers, haven't you ever heard? It's 2018, freedom to expression. And Dan, I want the website so I can get me a Make America Great Again hat and a shirt, and I want the address to that Cheesecake Factory so I can show up bright and early. I want to see if they can treat somebody from the South Side like that.
I love it, Verlon.
You know what,
Thanks for the
Verlon,
call.
you should. That would be great.
There's a Cheesecake Factory down by Hancock, isn't there?
Yeah.
Why don't we do an AM 560 trip to the Cheesecake Factory?
You think they're going to let us in? Really?
What do you mean let us in?
I mean,
you mean they think they're
oh,
going to
I
let
thought
us
you
in?
meant do a live remote. Like,
No. I mean,
just
let's
go to
actually do it.
Cheesecake?
Do it. Yeah.
Oh, we can wear our Trump T-shirts. I have a Trump pin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about that little weekend excursion to the Cheesecake Factory down by Hancock?
If you're
Get
buying.
you a big punch bowl
See
full
that
of salad.
menu. That menu could take you. It's like reading War and Peace. I mean, it will take you forever if you went through all the items on the menu.
Rich and Niles.
Yeah, I never did understand this idea of hate crimes. But what happened to this guy at the Cheesecake Factory seems to be a perfect example of a hate crime. And I don't know why the police or somebody doesn't go in there and arrest these people. What is that, assault? Do you have to assault somebody to be a hate crime, or is there a difference?
Yeah, thanks for the
Well,
call,
he
Rich.
was discriminated against. I mean, if they shouted racial slurs at him,
Well, that's true.
and then they were
sort of.
surrounding him and stalked him as he went to the bathroom and stuff. I mean,
Reasonable fear for his safety, sure.
you
The
go.
possibility of arrest, disorderly
he
conduct.
should file a lawsuit. And I know people hate frivolous lawsuits, but do something. Or Cheesecake should come forward and offer him something.
What about the bystanders? What about the other patrons?
Yeah, you're right.
I still want to.
If
No,
they
I
saw
would.
that, heard that happening, wouldn't you get up and say something?
I wish that Mr. Joseph would have addressed that. Would have been asked about it. What about those bystanders? What do you think about them? That just the other patrons who just watched you be excoriated, you and your family be excoriated by these goons that work for Cheesecake Factory and did nothing. I'd love to be in a situation like that, where not that I wish this on anybody, but where somebody's being treated as badly as he is. I would welcome such an opportunity to intervene, but not everybody's like that. Sean in Elmwood Park.
I say this to you as a former waiter. In high school, I was saving up for a car, and I had to be a waiter. And by the way, every teenager should be a waiter.
Yep.
But at what point?
Totally agree.
At what point do we care what today's waiters? Have you taken a look at today's wait staff? For God's sakes, I'm going to be excoriated by a bunch of people that are. Have you seen the Cheesecake Factory waiters?
No.
All of them are 310 pounds. They have one white shirt with yellow pit stain. Nobody has a charge card or a car. And I care what you morons think about anything. The problem is his complacency. Shut up and get me some water. That's what you say to a waiter. I don't need your opinion for anything. And Amy, I blame middle-aged women. Because if you see middle-aged women order, they all ask the same thing. What would you have? What are you asking wait staff for their opinion for? I give you the money, you bring me the food. That's
Sean,
the end of the relationship.
Sean, can I ask you a question? And this is sort of impossible to answer, but I want you to guesstimate. Of the meals that you have out, what percentage do you think include body fluids from your waiter?
Well, when I was a waiter, you didn't want to send anything back, honey. Believe me.
Oh, no, you
so
never did.
I don't send anything back.
Thanks for the call, Sean. I think that's what your waitstaff is counting on.
And what you ask is, say, what is the best, what's your best salad here? That's what you ask. You don't ask, what would you order here?
That's what you ask at
and then
Cheesecake
you say,
Factory?
what's your famous, what's your most popular salad? What do people come back for? That's
Well,
what I always ask.
The cheesecake.
What?
Why would they call it the Cheesecake Factory? Isn't that their value prop?
Signature meal?
Cheesecake?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm just trying to piece this together, piece their marketing together. Their brand seems to indicate something.
You live right by the Cheesecake Factory. Why don't you just stop in with a Make America Great Again hat and see what happens today?
Mm-hmm.
See if you get served.
Yeah, maybe I will. Mark in Des Plaines.
You know, the solution to this is to be more discriminating about where you go for cheesecake. I mean, Cheesecake Factory cheesecake is inferior. I mean, it's not a great product. So go to Eli's. You know, Eli's on
of course.
Forest Edge. You know, right here on the northwest side of Chicago. So I mean, you know, this, and I don't believe in boycotting either. But I'll tell you, it's truly Cheesecake Factory cheesecake is way lower quality than Eli's and others that we have around here in Chicago. So there you go.
Thank you for that Yelp review on cheesecake, Mark.
What, is Baker Square still around? Or I think they.
I know. Yeah, I think there are some.
We'll look that up and let you know.
I think the key lime pie, though, is what you want to do at Baker Square.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
As a parent, you want what's best for your children. That means sending them to a school where they'll get the superior education they deserve, and that also shares your values. That can be tricky these days, as public schools have changed and private schools can be expensive. Your household budget has already been cut to the bone, and it's hard to imagine where you'll find that extra money. Well, there's help to lessen that financial burden and provide your child with the very best education at half the cost. At AM 560 The Answer, we work with private schools throughout the Chicagoland area to provide tuition for families at half the normal cost. Just log on to halfpriceschools.com and you'll find some of Chicagoland's finest private schools, from preschool all the way through high school, at half the cost. And chances are there's a school right in your neighborhood. Invest in your child's education and future at halfpriceschools.com. A limited number of half-price vouchers are available. Go to halfpriceschools.com now.
Thousands of doctors, health specialists, and professionals recommend Balance of Nature as a way of improving their health. Listen to a few unsolicited success stories from doctors that not only recommend it, but use Balance of Nature as well.
I look at Balance of Nature and I look what it's doing for me as I've started taking it, and for the patients that I have that are taking it, and it's been phenomenal watching the changes that have happened and how much healthier and how much more energy that they have. I haven't heard any negative feedback from any of my patients who have been taking the product. And the thing that amazes me with it is that it's so simple.
For a limited time,
pull
use
Andrew out of that
discount
Purdue
code
basketball camp,
Chicago
the
to
CPS.
receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code Chicago.
Get a $10 cash card when you spend $30 on these great deals and more at your neighborhood CVS pharmacy. This week only, select Listerine products are BOGO 50% off. And treat yourself to Hershey's and Brookside pouches BOGO 50% off. Restrictions apply. See cvs.com/weekly ad for details.
Visit CVS.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up, a story about a crazy woman.
Yeah, Why I'm Single. It's a new segment I'm giving a test drive to this morning. That's at 8:38.
And later, how one group, Friends of the Park, is trying to stop the Obama Library from being built on that location. We'll explain because Mayor Emanuel, I think steam is coming out of his ears. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
57 degrees in Chicago. We have mostly sunny skies. North Korea is making noise about pulling out of the summit with the U.S. if Washington insists the North gives up its nuclear program. Speaking to reporters outside of the White House this morning, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders says the president is prepared for whichever way things turn out. Federal investigators are looking into a deadly explosion at a Orange County, California medical office. Federal law enforcement sources are saying the blast yesterday was the result of an intentional detonation. Orange County Sheriff's commanders say it's too soon to determine that. People on Hawaii's Big Island living under the threat of a possible eruption of the Kilauea volcano after nearly 36 earthquakes shook the island over the last 24 hours. 3 are in custody following a major police chase and a fiery crash on Chicago's west side. Authorities say officers began chasing a Honda Civic yesterday. It slammed into an SUV on West Jackson. 3 inside the Civic ran away. The vehicle caught fire. Police later caught up with the trio and placed them under arrest. A veteran Chicago police officer is admitting to paying teenage girls for sex. William Whitley pleaded guilty in federal court yesterday to a single count of sex trafficking of a minor. A former Wheaton College employee is headed to prison after pleading guilty to child pornography possession. Benjamin Felker entered that plea yesterday in DuPage County Court. He had previously worked as a lab associate in Wheaton College's geology department. 2 more women have accused a West Suburban volleyball coach of sexual abuse and are calling on state lawmakers to create more protections for victims. Julianne Romice and Sarah Powers Barnard testified yesterday before an Illinois Senate panel. Both claim Rick Butler abused them while they played for the Aurora-based Performance Volleyball Club. They asked lawmakers to consider extending the statute of limitations in sex abuse cases that involve accusers threatening to sue victims to keep them silent. Cubs beat Atlanta 3-2 last night. White Sox tagged in a 7-0 loss to the Pirates. The odds played out exactly as expected for the Bulls in the NBA draft lottery. They had a 77% chance to land the 6th or 7th pick and wound up with the 7th pick overall. The news, a service of Staples. Staples knows running out of ink is no way to do business. Help keep your business working and your printers printing. Go to Staples for a huge selection of ink and toner and find your ink in stock every time at a low price every day so you can meet every deadline. Staples. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
Your daughter's wedding is one of the proudest moments of your life, a moment you and your family will treasure for the rest of your lives. As the months of planning start to unfold and you get closer to the special day, things can get a bit hectic. So many important details. To capture these once-in-a-lifetime memories and not have to worry about anything but the celebration, trust Artland Photography for every precious moment. At Artland Photography, it's all about you. No matter what your style, their photographers have the skill and experience to capture the moments quickly and stay out of the way. They'll make it easy to enjoy all of the smiles, laughter, and tears to enjoy for generations. Visit them at artland.com, where you can see their amazing work and outstanding reviews for yourself. Plus, learn about a special limited-time offer. You'll know why Artland Photography has been Wedding Wire's couple's choice for the last 5 years. They also shoot everything from major corporate events to business and family portraits. Visit artland.com. It's all about you.
Your business is moving fast. It has to. Competition is stronger than ever. You've got a lot to deal with to keep your business moving forward. But there are some things you should delegate to others. It's the only way to concentrate on what you do best and for your business to thrive. What Turnkey IT does best is take care of every aspect of your computer and IT systems. When you go all in, they become a partner in your business's success. Your staff doesn't have time or the resources to keep up on the latest computer and software upgrades, potential threats, or know when it's time to upgrade equipment. That's what Turnkey IT's all-in small business package is for. You get world-class help desk, on-site and remote support, monitoring of network resources, 365 hosting, cloud backup, antivirus, and more. Plus, new hardware every 4 years. Whether your business is 1 person or 200, keep it moving in the fast lane. Go all in with Turnkey IT by your side.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-500-5588. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-500-5588 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-500-5588 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-500-5588.
8:37. Let's get an update on the roads now. Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center time. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Southbound Tri-State is really heavy. 2E to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 115th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the bridge. At Adams Tollway, stop and go 2E to the Tri-State. Reagan Tollway from the Fox River to 59. Winfield 355. Veterans Memorial northbound, heavy Boughton most of the way to St. Charles. Southbound 53 has delays. Dundee to Kirchhoff after a crash. And southbound Veterans Memorial from the Army Trail Toll to St. Charles. Eden's 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 29. Kennedy 53 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 50. Eisenhower an hour and 10 minutes. 390 to the Circle. Outbound it's an hour. Stevenson looking at an hour and 12 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42 minutes. And the Ryan 35 minutes. 95th to downtown. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Warmer today, sunshine, high near 80. Currently in Chicago, 58. Next news coming up at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and I've got 3 different categorical examples to support why I will remain single. All right? And I'm sure...
You don't have to convince me.
I know.
You don't have to convince me.
Nah,
but okay.
Right. People aren't beating down my door, but fair point. All right, so stipulated. Okay. One category, the feminist politician. Senator Kristen Gillibrand from New York, during a Tuesday panel discussion about females and leadership roles, said, if it wasn't Lehman Brothers but Lehman Sisters, we might not have had the financial collapse. Sigh. Also, plagiarism. She stole that joke from former IMF director Christine Lagarde, who made the same joke actually after the financial crisis almost a decade ago. Could you imagine having to indulge the identity politics of a Kristen Gillibrand on a daily basis? I cannot. Number one. Number two, the wife who demands specific performance.
This is very important. In what category, sir?
Former U.S. Open champ Lucas Glover missed the secondary cuts at last weekend's Players' Championship tournament near St. Augustine.
I hope his wife divorced him. Just kidding.
She greeted him upon his return home. Now, this is a guy who's won a U.S. Open, as I mentioned, and he's packed away about $20 million in prize money during his PGA career.
Not enough. But yes, did she smack him in the face?
Krista Glover, 36, was arrested by St. Johns County Sheriff's deputies at Sawgrass TPC and charged with domestic battery and resisting arrest.
She did slap him?
This is not unusual. Glover told police that when he plays a bad round of golf, Krista proceeds to start an altercation with him, telling him how he is a loser and a P-word, how he needs to fire everyone, and how he'd better win or her and the kids would leave and he would never see them again.
But that's how they roll, right? That motivates him to do better in the next tournament.
Correct. Yeah, she's a great coach.
No, that's how I coach, yeah. With floggings.
Peyton and Eli, if you want to come home, if you want your mother's love, right. Also, she got into a fight with Glover's mom, 62-year-old Hershey Glover.
You don't touch mama. But, okay, what did she do to her?
Fresh lacerations to Lucas's right arm, multiple lacerations to both 62-year-old mother Hershey Glover's arms, as well as blood on her clothes. Then she...
blood on her clothes?
Well, she got attacked by Krista.
She made her bleed, though? What is this, a cat fight?
Then she was in the police car.
Oh, boy. Let me guess. She kicked out the back window with her 5-inch stiletto heel.
Krista Glover tried to wrap her legs and feet around the frame of the open car door, and once inside, she damaged the car by kicking the door.
Oh, my God. What is this crazy woman's name?
Krista Glover.
Krista.
Then she said, wait till the PGA Tour hears about this. You will lose your job. This is why cops get shot in the face. Wait till I talk with the judge. You'll be effing fired over this.
And who's her husband again?
Lucas Glover.
Lucas Glover.
So, you know, I'm all for the tough love treatment.
She's cute crazy. She's crazy cute.
Yeah.
Or no, well, I don't know if that's her. I have to make sure.
I perhaps now starting to understand why Lucas hasn't won a major in a decade. A lot of pressure at home to post low numbers.
Did you see her mugshot?
I did.
What do you think? Did she get a little cray-cray in her eye?
The last category. Now, this is an attentive woman. There's no question.
I mean, in some of these photos, she's absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. And then the other ones, you can tell something's not quite right.
Well, I think the behavior.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Yeah, sort of takes the guesswork out of it.
Did they take her kids away from her, I wonder? I mean, she's,
The last category, Jacqueline Addis. This is sort of a cautionary tale about those dating apps you kids like so much. Or you older folks.
Yeah. Is it our time?
It's not in our time, no.
Is it Bumbler, Tumblr, Tingler, Tinger?
Millionaire app. A dating app for millionaires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You ready for this?
Wait. Let me get out my pen and paper. Hold on, because I have friends that would be very interested in this.
Well, Jacqueline Addis is available after her arraignment, and assuming she's not sentenced to an extended period of time on the wrong side of the bars. Here's what happened in the case of Jacqueline Addis that led to the 31-year-old's arrest.
I met him online. I was looking for my healing angel. The psychic I met told me I would meet a healing angel.
She says she met him on Luxy, a dating site where millionaires go to find love. And if you ask Jacqueline Addis, the spark was instant.
I felt like I met my soulmate and everything was just the way it was. And I thought we would just do what everybody else did and we would just like get married and everything would be fine. But that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Turns out that spark was one-sided when the victim, a Paradise Valley millionaire, told her he wasn't interested.
And you don't stop giving, even if you don't receive. You all of a sudden receive a lot.
That's one way to look at love, but Paradise Valley police say Addis took it too far. We're talking 65,000 text messages in the last few months. Chilling threats. According to police reports, some of those texts read, quote, "I don't want to be a murderer." Police reports state Addis also texted the victim saying she would cut up his body, wear his body parts, and bathe in his blood.
I don't want to talk about that.
In our jailhouse interview, Addis did not want to talk about the alleged stalking or harassment. She ignored questions about showing up at his work, claiming to be his wife, or allegedly breaking into his home and bathing in his tub. When we asked her if she would actually hurt him...
No. Oh my God, no, I love him so much. I just want to love him so much, that's it. And if he doesn't like it, then I'll go home and I'll love my ex-boyfriend. What am I supposed to do?
Why do I have a feeling her ex-boyfriend is stuffed in her home?
And that she drank his blood.
This is a woman committed to a long-term relationship, though.
I need to...
Don't.
We're not all like that, but I've met women that are like that, and you just think, what are you doing? You crazy stalker? Stop.
Yeah.
That's when you got to help your girlfriend out and just sit her down and be like...
Yeah, you get
on.
north of 60,000 text messages, and you're taking it down too far. Don't ever try to leave me. I'll kill you. I don't want to be a murderer. Maybe she could write for Hallmark. Other text messages. I hope you die, you rotten, filthy Jew.
So what is this crazy lady's name? I want to see what she looks like.
Jacqueline Addis. I'm like the new Hitler. Man was a genius. Oh, what I would do with your blood. I want to bathe in it. And as you heard from the report, she did break into his home and use his bathtub. Romantic gesture, some might say. Not him.
But, I mean, clearly, too, when they're interviewing her, she's still psychotic about him. No, I mean, I love him. I mean, she's sick in the head. They can't ever let her out of jail.
What do you think?
That's not normal behavior,
obviously. Better or worse odds for those two to make it as compared to the royal couple? What do you think?
Well, I have my little problems with the royal couple right now.
Andy in Hanover Park.
I just thank God for stories like this because it makes me think that there's people almost as crazy as my ex-wife.
Almost. Can you have a story about your ex-wife that could top or at least compete with any of these? Didn't want it. I think his ex-wife cut the line.
I think she's still in the room, if you know what I mean.
The bathtub.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Careful about those millionaire dating apps, huh?
Yeah. Meghan Markle's bridesmaids list is out. Can we get anyone who's 8 years old? Wait till you hear this. Oh my God, these aren't bridesmaids. These are ankle biters. First, here's your forecast today. Plenty of sunshine, but warm. A high of 80 degrees. Tonight, clear to partly cloudy, a low of 54. And for tomorrow, another gorgeous day. Sunshine, a high of 78. Into the Alarm Detection's Traffic Center we go. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Dan. Southbound 53 still has delays from Dundee to Kirchhoff. A crash there finally cleared. It's heavy on the southbound Veterans Memorial Army Trail to St. Charles. Northbound out and most of the way to St. Charles. Edens is 21 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 25. Kennedy inbound delays start at Central. 53 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. No savings on the express. Outbound it's 50 minutes. Eisenhower, much improved. 48 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound an hour. Stevenson, an hour and 12 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42 minutes. Rye 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Dan Proft here with Ryan Kelly. He's the home loan expert, homeloanexpert.com. And Ryan, we know your business is getting people homes, refis, but what do you do when you're not doing that?
I guess that answer depends on if my wife is listening.
Yeah, right. There you go.
And I mean that in a way that, as a business owner, I struggle. I walk a fine line between running my business and working hard for my clients to get them great mortgages and spending enough time with the family, And as my wife and I have been married 10 years, we have 3 kids. And as you know, it takes a lot of time to be around the kids and do everything to be a good father and a good husband. So when I'm not at the office working on mortgages, I'm just like everybody else. I like to go to sporting events. I like to have people over for barbecues and really big into giving back. Giving back means a ton to me, my family, and the company. Refinancing or buying a house, don't get abused by those other lenders. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. Thanks, Dan. The Home Loan Expert, LLC.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I went to have my blood test done a few weeks ago, and I met the doctor. And he was really encouraged by my progress, and I showed him what I was taking. And he started looking at all the ingredients, and he said, I'm really impressed with the shiitake mushroom. And he said, this stuff, it could clean out your arteries. And I'm like, oh, wow. He said, you may be onto something here. And he said, you just keep that up, and maybe you can start cutting back on your medication. And he says, you're helping your health by doing that. I'm like, whoa, endorsement by the doctor.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Shoot Point Blank is Chicago's leading shooting range and firearms store. Featuring 20 climate-controlled shooting lanes, complete retail store, and firearm education classes for all experience levels. Whether you're a new or expert shooter, now you can experience the Shoot Point Blank difference and see for yourself why so many people are talking about Shoot Point Blank.
I can tell you, I was impressed as soon as I walked through the door. The employees were really helpful, very patient, and knowledgeable, too.
My wife and I had a wonderful experience. We felt very comfortable and informed.
Brett was very friendly and respectful, and he answered all my questions. Because I'm new to pistols, I'm grateful he was patient and helped me decide what to buy for my new firearm.
For a huge selection of new and used firearms, ammo, and state-of-the-art indoor shooting range, visit them in Hodgkins, Mokina, Naperville, or Merrillville. Or check out shootpointblank.com. Experience the difference. Shoot Point Blank.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 34-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Every month I hear from clients who have joined us over the years from our radio campaign right here on AM 560. From Indiana, I got a note saying, Tom, you're right. Working with you is like watching Andy Griffith in high definition. Great technology and old-fashioned customer service. Or right here in Northern Illinois. Tom, had I known it would have been this easy to switch over, I would have done it years ago. Or this one I just received yesterday. Tom, honey, dinner was great. Thanks. Love you, Mom and Dad. Okay, sorry, wrong letter. Bottom line, give us a try. You can't go wrong. Real people, real service, real value. Call me at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or on the web at precisionpayroll.com. precisionpayroll.com.
Nowadays, there's an app for everything, and here's one that's a must-have if you golf. It's the Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app, and it'll enhance your golf experience. You can book tee times at Bolingbrook Golf Club. There's an interactive scorecard, golf games, a GPS, latest news from the club, even a food and beverage menu, Facebook sharing, and more. Just about everything you need for your golf game besides the clubs is in the palm of your hand with the new Bolingbrook Golf Club mobile app. Go to bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app. bolingbrookgolfclub.com/contact/download our app and download today.
Are you ready to take your golf game to the elite level? The Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training Program, or BEAT, is the highest level of training designed to maximize potential and develop highly skilled players. theirs. You'll learn from the Bolingbrook Golf Club's world-class instructors. They've designed practice schedules and content to maximize player development. For the athlete that aspires to compete and train at the highest levels, check out BEAT, Bolingbrook Elite Athlete Training. More info at bolingbrookgolfclub.com.
Do you want your basement to be dry most of the time? If so, Permaseal is not the company for you. At Permaseal, we believe your basement should be dry all the time, no matter how hard it rains. Hi, I'm Roy Spencer, president of Permaseal. I hear story after story of homeowners who say their basement only leaks when it rains. Well, you don't worry about your living room or bedroom getting wet when it rains, and you should feel the same way about your basement. Just call 800-421-SEAL. We offer a free estimate, no haggle pricing, and a price assurance guarantee, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best value. Your basement is already dry most of the time, but if you want your basement dry all the time, you know who to call. 800-421-SEAL. Permaseal has earned an A+ rating from the BBB and has received their 2016 Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics. That's 800-421-SEAL or visit permaseal.net.
Your best for being better, Permaseal. Visit CVS.
Get a $10 cash card when you spend $30 on these great deals and more at your neighborhood CVS pharmacy. This week only, select Listerine products are BOGO 50% off. And treat yourself to Hershey's and Brookside pouches, BOGO 50% off. Restrictions apply. See cvs.com/weekly ad for details.
Visit CVS.
When the need for senior care arises, there's no place like home. Your loved ones should never have to give up living at home. Visiting Angels will provide home care for your mom or dad at home up to 24 hours per day, including personal care, meals, and light housework. You'll select your professional caregiver with Visiting Angels. Look up visitingangels.com or call 877-374-LIVE. That's 877-374-LIVE. Franchises are available. Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care.
AM 560, The Answer.
No, just following up on that Jacqueline Addis story, I did want to make it clear she is still open, despite this police incident, to continuing the relationship.
I mean, that's a stalker. I'd be very worried if I was that guy. If she got out of jail, you'd have to have some type of security. I mean,
you've had a Jacqueline Addis incident.
I did, but it wasn't 65,000 text messages. But it was this guy. His name was Charles, and he was about 6'5" African American man who was waiting for me inside the foyer of NBC, apparently for 3 nights. But that wasn't it. He had a bag packed, a rollaway bag, and what looked like a rifle bag. Well, it was a rifle bag.
Shooting excursion.
No, but it was on my wedding anniversary. And he came in and he said, "Amy, come on, it's Charles." And I said, "Hey, I'm nice to everybody. Like, hey, how are you?"
Going to take you to a dude ranch or something, a friendly gesture.
What's going on? He goes, we're going away together. It's Charles. And I said, "Charles, okay." And then I thought, you know what? You can't reason with crazy. So I was nodding and smiling like, okay, I got to get out of the situation. Slowly backpedaled.
So you're
to
like,
the security guard kiosk.
Charles,
like, where he goes, we're going away on a plane. Together.
Where though? Is that what you asked? Like you're trying to make a decision whether or not to go or not, depending on the destination.
No, I didn't do that. I just but I was shocked, and he was shaking, and I'll never forget his stomach was going in and out and in and out. But he said, "We've been together for a while," and I like, you're talking. But so I slowly back up to the security guard, the kiosk there. And I looked at, I can't remember his name. Like, what are you doing? He said, "Well, he's been here waiting for you 3 days." Like, well, duh, really? Do you think that's my husband? And he's got a rifle bag and a bag packed? And
could be.
Right. So that was a bit of a sticky wicket. So I slowly backed up. We called 911. When the Chicago police went to his house, he had pictures of me all over the wall. And I wasn't on air.
A devotee.
I wasn't. It's the new wallpaper. But I wasn't on. Wasn't an anchor. You know what I mean? Like anchors, you see them more. They're on television.
Well, you obviously made an impression on Charles.
I did. So I don't know where he is now.
And that's when you knew you still had it. So it was nice. It's nice to get that kind of.
It's just crazy
fandom,
that he would be there 3 nights in a row waiting for me, and nobody would think that was odd or anything. But
well, maybe we can track down Charles and introduce him.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Well, introduce him to Jacqueline Addis. when she gets through, with her legal entanglements.
Right. Yeah, she'll get over him anytime now.
Try to do some matchmaking. That's all.
Thanks to Justin Kosick, our techno producer, associate producer Quinn McCarthy, Keith Conrad, and all of you for listening. Thank you so very much. And we're back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott.
3 in custody after a police chase and fiery crash on the west side. Mayor Emanuel calls a lawsuit against the Obama Center frivolous. We'll explain. A new gun dealer bill has been introduced in